All right, what is going on, everybody? Checking in for another Friday night bunk. Got Deacon over here going ham on his ball, chilling. Oh yeah. So if you guys hear any squishing in the background, it's gonna be him doing his little squishy thing. Super stoked because unlike the last, I want to say like 2 weeks, the last 2 streams that we did, I didn't necessarily have a whole lot left to dab on, and now I have more than enough, so that feels really good. I'm not wasting my money on people that don't know how to properly fucking extract, so that's always awesome. But yeah, let's go ahead and throw my tenants out there because I'm sure during the course of the evening we're probably going to offend someone. So just in case that someone happens to be you, guess what? I'm not here to be everybody's friend. I'm not here to say things that everyone agrees with. I'm not here to be politically correct. And I ain't no fucking cartoon character. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and actually start off the night with a nice fat dab. And I do believe that is of the Mac 1 Forum Cookies cross that I got. Nice fat 8-gram little blob right there. And then we also have some lava cake, which is equally as good, but I kind of like the cookie cross better. And this one, so it's not one solid chunk, it's actually a whole bunch of smaller chunks, and they're not necessarily small. Some of them are actually pretty big. And then the biggest jar that we got, that is the ounce of GMO cookies. We still have quite a bit of that left. We've run through a good little amount, but we still got plenty in that jar. So honestly, I am doing super good for dabs. We are not running low or worried about the stash in any way, shape, or form. And that feels pretty good. So we're going to take a nice fat dab of that, what was it? The Mac 1 Forum Cookies Cross. And also, let's go ahead and get in on Mac 1 for this live stream so we can get the first dislike, because fuck the haters. We also have a little bit of Sitka Gold hash, and this is a limited GMO run that they did, and I gotta say that shit is danky as fuck, like hella garlic when you open up that jar. And that's the thing, is it does, my hash dome that I got from Sitka doesn't even work for this consistency because it's so packed full of resin, and so it's not like wet, but it's definitely not dry. And so once I actually heat it up on the brass pin on the hash dome, it just melts and runs down the pin. So I can't actually use it on that. But I do have something else that's coming in. And Lewis actually asked that question that I was going to address right now. So there's 2 different ways that you can do it. And honestly, there's more than that. You can, if you want, let's see, he says, can you dab it on a bong? You can, but I would recommend the other methods that I'm about to talk about, because dabbing, I don't feel like you get the true taste of the hash. Like, you're definitely going to get high and stuff, but there's a good chance that if you do it on too high of a temperature, you're going to ruin your banger and also get like a not really great taste out of the hash. So you can dab it, but that's not really what I would recommend. We got Chef Life and Stay Lit in here. What's going on, guys? So Sitka themselves, they partnered with Knuckles Glass, who is a glass blower on social media, and they make these hash domes. So for something that's got a little bit more of a drier consistency, you would basically take a little chunk, pop it on that pin, and then light it and get it kind of going like a coal, like a piece of incense. So you'd get a nice, where you could actually see it burning. You blow it out and you have that little bit of coal action going on it. And there's one or two things that you can do from there. What I do sometimes is I just put it in a part of the room and I close the door, turn the fan off, and I just hotbox the room that I'm in. The other thing that you can do is take hash rips. So that's not what I was going to say. That's just a burp. The hash dome comes with a glass dome, and it has a glass on glass stopper here at the top. So what you can do is after you light your hash and you get that coal going, you set the dome over it and you let the smoke build up underneath the dome, pull your stopper off, and take some hash rips. So you can do it one of those two ways. You can also, there is a new set that they just started making, which is glass hot knives. So there's one glass rod that has, it's almost kind of like the top of a jar. It's flat and it's round like this, and it's at the end of a glass rod. And then there's another glass rod that has a small little dome with a hole at the end. And so what you do with that is you heat up the glass rod with the disc at the end, and you put your piece of hash on that. And then you get your other, glass rod with the dome on it, put it over that so you can direct the smoke for the hit and inhale that vapor. So you can take the hot knife hits or you can take the hash dome hits. What's really neat about the brand that I've been talking to, Sitka Gold, is that aside from having these two different products that you can buy to enjoy hash, they're actually a hash maker. And when I told them that I was going to do a review of the dome, they were like, dude, we just got these hot knife sets in. Can we send you one? And can you do a review about that? So I am actually going to be doing pretty much like a review of all of the products that they have to offer right now, because they're gonna send me a care package, which I think is fucking awesome. I'm gonna get a couple of grams of hash to try. I'm gonna get the hot knife set, and I already have the hash dome, so I just need to do the review on that. So guys, if you are a fan of hash, just keep an eye out. Keep an eye out. If you follow me on Instagram, then you've already seen the post that I've done about the hash dome. If you follow me here on YouTube, then you may have seen the live unboxing that we did just a couple of weeks ago. When that thing came in the mail, I opened it up here on the live stream, and we took the very first hash rips right here on the live with you guys. So Stay Lit says, damn, that's lit. I follow them on IG. And so, fam, what I've been doing, because there's been one or two people that have hit me up and been like, hey, I heard that I saw that you were talking about this brand on your Instagram. Jesus, people are sending me a bunch of fucking messages right now. Is there any, I'm having trouble getting a hold of them. If you tell them that you heard about it on my page, or you say, hey, Dead Cynic sent me, that might make a little bit of a difference. I'm not saying it's going to make a huge difference, but how it works with a lot of these folks is if they know where you came from and they know it's a reliable source, they're more likely to answer. And the only reason I say that is because as a business in the 42710 community, at any given time, whether you're a glass blower or a head shop, or whether you do accessories for hash smokers like this, you get hit up with probably 30 messages a day of people that are asking about your product, think it's awesome, but have no intention whatsoever of buying. Whereas people that follow my content with any regularity, they know that stuff I recommend is stuff that I've spent my money on and stuff that I would readily recommend to other people who are willing to invest in those products. And so mentioning my name lets them know, hey, this is the kind of community that I've come from, and that may or may not instill a little bit more trust in you from them. I can't guarantee that, because some people fuck that up, even using my name, but I can't do anything about that. All I can tell you is so far, me and Sitka are getting along pretty well. And if you were to tell them, hey, Dead Cynic sent me, they're probably going to answer you back pretty quickly. Jacob says, yo, I saw that last live, been telling my friends about it, thought the hash dome was neat. Thank you so much, Jacob. I appreciate that, fam. We got my little brother in the chat. What's going on, brother? So we're going to, again, we are already 10 minutes into this stream, so let's go ahead and shut up and quit talking about hash, take a nice fat dab of some, what was it, Mac 1 and Forum cookies. Let's go ahead and show this to you guys now that we got a few homies in the chat. Put it in front of my face. So there's a fat little well, it's a little less than 8 grams now, but pretty fat chunk of some butter there. Scuba Steve, what's going on, fam? We also have 8 grams of this lava cake. Pull this down just to get a better angle. And then we also have, so that's, we're working with a little under 16 because I know I've probably already smoked at least a gram out of those. And then we also have this GMO cake that we've had for a few days. And this was an entire ounce. And this stuff has been the danky. I mean, you smell that GMO just as soon as you pop off that fucking top. We got some of that, and then maybe a little bit later, depending on how the night goes, who knows. It's a little harder to open shit because I slashed myself a little earlier today. Gave myself a good little cut there. But then we got some GMO hash from Sitka. And the awesome thing was I was actually able to get the last 2 full grams that dispensary had. So aside from having that, and it's just a little less than a gram because I've only taken 1 hit off of it, we actually have one still in the packaging. We're going to put that in my little stoner box. This was a shoebox that I got way back in the day. And I just thought, wow, that would be such a waste to throw that away. That's such a dope fucking shoebox. CDN. Oh, so my bad if you've never, and that's the thing, fam, is I know that you've been tuning in for a couple weeks now, but I don't know how long you've been tuning into the channel. Yes, the entire glass, well, 99% of the glass collection is in my closet here. So we have, and let's see actually how close we can get to everything without me fucking shit up here. So we have a couple of glass accessories on top of this shelf. We have some bubble caps and some marbles. There's a glass that I picked up from an artist right here that's got some super sick wigwags in it, and I just used this as a little candy cup for people to grab fucking treats out of. Then we have the bangers and some random tools, some glass tools, bangers, caps, a few spinning tops and whatnot. And then over here is going to be most of the custom glass. That's all pretty much on this lower section. And then you guys can't see it if I'm sitting down and I show the camera facing the wall, but the closet actually goes back further behind. So like you guys see the jellyfish, but there's actually shit behind that. So that's some of the older bongs that I have from my days in like head shops. And then if we come up here, there's some more pieces. Some of these are bongs, some of them are dab rigs. We got a little heady cap selection right here. Pretty much all the caps right here are either UV or got crushed opal, or there's something kind of neat going on with them. And then up here, we have some China pieces, some older pieces from the beginning of the collection. Not really a whole lot of headiness to them, you know, kind of simple, clear pieces, but they chug like a motherfucker. There's some scientific pieces that rip super duper hard. And then coming down here, I hung the pendies that I have in my collection. All of these were given to me either by a friend or by a glass blower for free. I've never paid for a pendy because I don't collect them. And then over here, we have the whiskey. So aside from the whiskey, there's actually 3 bongs in the back, but that's normally where I keep all my bottles. I need to go and get another bottle of Wild Turkey. I'm out right now. So tonight we will be taking shots of Knob Creek. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much the glass collection in a nutshell. If I'm not going into a ton of detail and showing you guys every single piece, that's kind of a general overview of all the stuff. Brother Bingus, one day we will do a live stream just going through everything. We'll call it collection inspection day. That's what we'll call it. We'll call it collection inspection day. And we'll just go through all those motherfuckers. We'll go through bubble caps. We'll go through marbles. Because they're like, if you actually break it down to the separate parts of the collection, I have a lot of bongs. I have a lot of dab rigs. I have a lot of this or that. So yeah, if we actually went through everything, it would take us a while on the live stream. And we definitely do that one day. Joshua, yes, fam. And that's so I try not to give anybody shit when they're like, I only smoke flower. But that's where I started. It's not like I got into this and I was just like, I'm only going to dab. I started smoking weed like everybody else. So I have plenty of bongs. That's one of the main reasons why you guys don't see me cough. It's not because of the tolerance that I built taking dabs. It's because of the tolerance that I built taking fucking massive rips of weed smoke out of big old motherfuckers like the Biohazard 2. And so the biggest pieces in my collection just haven't survived. I had a couple of like 3.5 footers. I've actually owned 2 in my smoking career, but I broke them both. So after the second one, I just was like, you know what? It's kind of a lot to like keep these clean, and they're a lot of maintenance. And I mean, I've already broken 2, so maybe that's the universe just telling me, you know what, you don't need one that fucking big. Bingus says that will take a minute and be documentation. Yes. And I think my mom might actually enjoy that because she owns her own farmer's insurance business. And I know that there's an endorsement for people that have like expensive or collector's type glass. So I need to add that to my insurance, but also I think it would help her because then she would literally have video documentation of what everything is, and then she could backtrack how much it's worth. Josh says, yeah, I got a nice Grace glass bong I've had for a while. That's it though. You know what, fam? It doesn't matter if you only have one. If you've had it for years and years and years, that's better than a lot of other people. Bingus says, insurance writers, good idea. Yes, that particular endorsement is something that I need to add to my policy because as someone that has more than a regular stoner probably would accumulate as far as glass goes in their collection, it is something that I should consider, especially living in a state that has a bunch of fucking earthquakes. But anyway, 9 homies in the chat. What's going on, 9 homies in the chat? We got a nice fat dab. So let's go ahead and take it. And then we're going to pour a shot. Then we're going to hang out for a little bit. And yeah, so 20 minutes in. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a wonderful Friday. Again, if you dig hash, or if you've seen the last couple of live streams and you thought that the hash stuff that I got in was cool, be on the lookout, because we will be doing official reviews of those products, and even actually more than what you guys saw, because I got products that are coming in the mail. So we will be doing a review of the actual quality of the hash from the company, and we will be doing a review of the two products that I'm getting. Well, one of the products that I'm getting in the mail, but the line of products that they have available for sale, because I already bought the first one, which is the hash dome. We will also be reviewing the hot knife set as soon as that comes in. Let's do it. Stay Lit wants to know if I like dabbing on rosin. I have no problems whatsoever dabbing on a nice fat dab of rosin, fam, and I think that it's very flavorful and it's very potent, but it's not financially feasible. Like, the kind of prices that rosin goes for around here, I'm not trying to fuck with those kind of prices. So if someone has some rosin and they're like, yo, I want to pack you this fat dab of rosin, sure, thank you so much. But like, am I going to search it out and be like, yo, who's got that fire rosin? Fuck no. Because I have over an ounce of just fine dabs right here that's going to make me perfectly happy. And if I would have spent the same amount of that, same amount that I did on that as I did in rosin, I would have hardly any rosin. So as much as rosin is awesome, fuck all of that when it comes to prices. And whoever wants to disagree with me and say, oh, I get it for this and this much, well, then I bet you're a grower, or I bet your best friend's a grower, or I bet that you know a grower and you're sucking their dick. But there's no way that if all of your fucking personal stash, Chef Life says 15 at the Sesh, and I bet it's fucking garbage. Because let me tell you something, Chef Life, I've been to the Seshes that you're talking about, and there's a bunch of fucking garbage. So I totally believe that you could find it for 15 bucks, and I also totally believe that if you brought that shit over to my house, I'd tell you to keep it to yourself. All right, time to take a dab. Let's see. Scuba Steve says, I see you moving the drop down around to heat up the banger. You ever had the banger move on you and get you? No. There is. So I have to empty out the reclaim from the drop down eventually. And when I do that, I try and torch the nail to make sure that the joint is as clean as possible and as free of reclaim as I can get it. Now, when I put the nail back into the drop down, I will admit that it has a lot more play and a lot more give than it normally does until it builds up the reclaim again. But it's not just swinging around in there. Now I have, and that's how I gave myself, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, but that scar right there, that little line on my hand, I gave that to myself because I was fucking high one day. I took a bunch of dabs and I went to reach for something, and and I just went. So that I have done because I'm a fucking idiot, but I only did it once and I learned real quick not to do that again. Stay Lit says, at a sesh there was a rosin maker selling his rosin for 65, but I didn't try it. Chef Life says, not bad, 60, that's 80 to 100 is too much, but it's so good. And I'm not denying that. And that's what I want everybody to understand when I'm being honest, because you can see it as me talking shit, but I'm not denying that rosin is awesome. Rosin tastes amazing. Rosin is very potent. What's the one thing that I said, fuck rosin? Fuck rosin because of the prices. So I hope that people are at least listening to what I'm saying, because if you pay attention, I'm very particular with my words. But yeah, it's not that rosin isn't great. It's just that I am not in the position where I'm just shitting out $100 bills and I can go and fucking toss $600 at a fucking rosin guy so I can have enough to know that I'm going to be comfortable smoking. Like, I'm not going to do that. And again, I'm not a grower myself, so I don't have access to that much material to just make my own personal stash. I don't have a good friend who's a grower and just willing to send it to me, and I'm not willing to suck a grower's dick for it. So I'm not going to have a whole lot of rosin on hand. And I think that's really, I think that it's also just another point of division within the community. It's just one more thing that a heady boy can look down on someone for and talk shit about them too. Like, oh, you don't smoke out of a $3,000 recycler? Like, you don't know what a dab is? Oh, you don't only fucking take dabs of fucking nug run rosin from this particular grower that only grows 10 plants? Then you don't fucking know. Like, seriously, all of those people need to get set on fire. Like, I fucking hate people that are like that. And like, seriously, I don't understand like that train of thought. And I'm happy that I don't. But it's just fucking, I always thought that all stoners were like peaceful and they wanted to share and like peace and love. And now, like, every community has its own little pocket of people that are just fucking miserable. Oh, Polo says, you basic as fuck. No connoisseur, just kidding. And if people want to see me that way, that's fine, fam. Because that's the thing, is I'm not going to go out of my way to do that stuff and be like, I only have this. I only have this. So if you want to see me that way, that's fine. But don't get up on your own high horse and be like comparing shit when you're not even on the same level. That's all I'm saying. Like, let's talk from experience here, because you guys don't hear me talking about shit that I don't know nothing about. And H7, totally. I got the just kidding at the end of your comment. You're all good, fam. But yeah, it's, I don't know. I just don't, again, I don't get that method of thinking, and I'm glad that I don't. Random Andy says, I am the truest stoner. Like, for real. It's, we, like, you either use it to medicate or you use it to make you feel good, because life just sucks most of the time, so why not? And you know, it's not the worst thing. You could be doing coke or meth or fucking a whole bunch of other shit that's going to damage you a lot more. So if weed is what you do, it's not really the worst. If anything, it's going to make you lazy, and maybe you need to quit so you can get your shit together. But other than that, well, what was Cat Williams? High, hungry, or happy, hungry, sleepy. Those are the three side effects of weed. Happy, hungry, sleepy. I don't know how that's necessarily a bad thing. And you know, like, it's just like mushrooms in that it has a fail-safe in it. Do you know what happens when you eat too many mushrooms, when you ingest too many magic mushrooms? You have kind of a panic attack. You might have a bad trip and you're going to throw up. Do you know what happens when you smoke too much weed? You have a bad high, you get kind of paranoid, and you get a little sick to your stomach. You might get nauseous, you might throw up. But guess what? You're going to live. Now, I will say that as far as dying goes, nobody's ever died from overdosing on mushrooms or died from overdosing on marijuana, but people do dumb shit that causes them to die while they're super duper fucking high or while they're tripping balls. So those substances could lead to that stuff, but saying that they're a direct cause, there's no logic in that. And I know that that was totally random, but that's something that I've thought about a lot, is that, really there's like, in order to actually overdose on marijuana, I think that the actual numbers are like you'd have to smoke your body weight in under like 15-20 minutes, and nobody can do that. Like, I'm sure that there's plenty of people who have tried. We got my mama in the chat. We got my mama and my little brother. What's going on, guys? Well, we just took a fat dab and we were cleaning up the rig. So now that we got two of my favorite people in here, let's go ahead and pour up a shot of this Knob Creek. We are drinking some 100 proof. I do not have any wild turkey on hand right now. I need to go get some, but we do still have some 100 proof, so we are all good. And you know what, Polo? I have a whole shelf on one of my bookshelves. It's this lower shelf right here, actually, and it's dedicated to medicine, altered states of consciousness, different mind-altering substances. And one of the best books that I could recommend to anybody that's just curious about shit and would like a reference on stuff is this book right here. It's called Buzzed. And what I think is really interesting about it is, aside from detailing a variety of substances and drugs, they get testimony from doctors and from regular users. So you have this nice little yin and yang of professionals telling you exactly what it's going to do to the body, and then users translating that to you and telling you this is how it's going to make you feel, even though it's fucking destroying your shit. So it's a very interesting book, and I found it fascinating to give, mind-altering substances a look like that. So highly recommend that book to anybody that wants to explore the subject further. Another book that I think anybody who is interested in just like big pharma and all that shit, a book that you should have in your library is The Pill Book. This is literally an encyclopedia, and it also has a couple 100 different pictures of all different prescription medications and what they do and how they affect your body. This is an excellent reference book for people who are interested in medicine and just like to have research shit on hand. Highly recommend this for any library. Okay. My little brother wants to know how the read is going. You know what? I only got a couple of pages in today on the sleep paralysis book, but I did actually get 2 new books in the mail today. And I was telling my little brother about one of them. Let's see. Polo says, I'm more about the natural pharmacopoeia. There are tons of books about that too, fam, and I have a few of those. I'm just saying that it's good to have that as a reference, because if you ever stumble upon a random pill, or like, what I think about is, I used to work around kids and mentally ill people. So if, let's say, one of the mentally ill patients that we took care of wandered into the facility one day and he had a pocket full of loose pills, and I know that he took a bunch more, but they all look like what he's got in his pocket, I can at least take that book out and I can fucking cross-reference, oh, these are the markings and the numbers on the pill, this is what the pill is, oh shit, this is what he's got a pocket full of. So for somebody like me, it actually is a reference that is worthwhile. I'm not saying it's for everybody, but also I got plenty of shit on natural shit anyway. Like, this is a book that they advertise on Instagram, The Lost Book of Herbal Remedies. Not only can I attest that this book is real and it's not a scam when they show that fucking ad, but this has some of the most useful information about just natural remedies for shit. Every time my girlfriend comes by, she fucking finds a new section of this book to read, but she's always pulling it out of the fucking bookshelf. But anyway, I think it's good to be well read on everything. So I may not be an exhaustive source of knowledge. I don't know everything, but I tell you what, I bet I've read a chapter on more or less something. If you're talking about something, I bet I read a chapter in a book about it somewhere. So one of the books that we got in today is the Communist Manifesto, which I've been meaning to read. There's two books that I've been meaning to read that I need to get done quickly because of the way that things are shaping up in our society at the moment. But the first one right here is Propaganda. And this is an old book too. But these two books right here, I've been meaning to read these for a while, and I finally ordered this one. It's not a very thick book either, so it's not going to take very long, but I've been meaning to read both of these, so those are kind of the next. They're pretty high up there on the list of shit that I need to read. Eric wants to know, what is Deacon's name? His name is Deacon. And then I was actually telling my little brother about this book not too long ago. This is How to Lie with Statistics. And as you can see right here, there's a little excerpt or a little praise thing from Bill Gates. And it's funny that they would do that because, well, this is something that I was telling specifically my little brother about. There was like a post that Bill Gates did, or like a video that he did where he was talking about the vaccination shit. And while he's making the video, he's talking and there's a stack of books in frame with him. And one of those books is that book, How to Lie Using Statistics. So, I'm just, I think that on the level, one of the reasons why they kind of show us what they're going to do, like Simpsons don't predict the future. It's more like predictive programming. They tell you what they're going to do ahead of time. So when we don't do anything to stop it, they're kind of like, well, you sort of knew. I mean, it's kind of your fault. So they have this way of like just washing their hands of the deniability by veiling it to us ever so slightly before they actually do it. And, you have conspiracy theorist pages out there and people like me that every now and then will dip into a paranormal night or we'll talk about some supernatural shit. But for the most part, you don't have anybody really challenging the narrative or the status quo or going against Big Brother. So, they don't need to really do anything. But it's kind of ramping up with everything that is going on right now. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how long we're able to sustain this. I just think it's interesting in the time that I've been alive how much stuff has changed. Because like when I was a kid, and I guess it depends on the job that you have, but like when I was a kid, all you needed was one decent job and you could support a household. And my pops did just that. He worked for PG&E and he supported my grandma and me the whole time that I was growing up. We always had a nice house. We were always going on trips and shit. They had their own bowling league and we would go out of state all the time. Lewis, no, I will not be taking the vaccine. And, you know, we can debate about it or talk more about it. I don't really see the point because people are or they're not. The reasons, I mean, at some point, if you've made your decision, there's a lot of folks that aren't even willing to hear a different argument. So, you know, if people are or they're not, that's awesome. Good for them. I'm not. I ain't taking no fucking vaccine. And that's how I feel about it. So let's go ahead and pour the first shot of the night, drinking on some Knob Creek in the absence of Wild Turkey. I hope that you guys are all having a good night. Steel City says, I want and take the vaccine. I don't know what he meant to say in the beginning there, but take the vaccine maybe in 10 years once I actually find one that works and we see research on it. And that's the thing that makes me really suspect about what's going on right now. Because normally when a vaccine for anything comes out, no matter how bad we need it, it gets tested and there's trial runs and a lot of fucking red tape that they go through before that's allowed to get given to the mass public. And we're talking about how many different kinds of fucking vaccines, how many companies made vaccines? At least 3 or 4, and all of that shit was just like, you need to get that as soon as you can. So the fact that they want us to get it when they don't even know what it does, that's really suspect. And if nobody else is bothered by that, I don't see, I don't know, it's going to be hard to talk to you. Jacob says, yes, exactly why there's a need for 2 vaxes. Steel City says, why take the shot if you're still going to die from COVID? Jacob says, we should just need one to be a cure-all. Well, and even with, you know, booster shots for the flu, we've been doing that for generations, and the flu hasn't gone away. It's still there. So all I'm going to say is, like, what have we been getting injected with all these years? Because I remember having to take a flu shot before I went to school every year. Sometimes I'd still fucking get it. Like, I think it's amazing that we're being told our immune systems don't work anymore. And again, I've said it on streams and people have tried to disagree with me. I think it was UFO Factor Fiction brought it up and tried to make a point of it in a comment. He didn't actually bring it up during a stream, but he left it as a comment. And I say one of 2 things a lot. I do say that I don't really go anywhere. I'm a hermit. And that's true in a social sense. I don't go out to bars. I don't really go out to eat. I go to the store. I go to the gas station. I go to the park to walk my dog. I'm friendly with my neighbors. So I am social on the level and I interact with people. But do I go out socially? No. And I never did that. But so UFO Fact Fiction. If it wasn't you, then I apologize. But somebody made the comment of like, you know, you keep saying if this was a real disease or if COVID was a real thing, I should be dead because I haven't worn a mask since it started and I'm still here. And then he juxtaposed that on how I say I'm a hermit and I don't go anywhere. So I had to actually clarify and say socially, that is true. I don't go out to clubs and shit. I don't try and put myself in the middle of large crowds. But that doesn't mean that I don't leave my house and have to go places. I went to the store fucking today so that I could get groceries for, you know, dinner in the next couple of days and to make sure I got ginger ale. So Stay Lit says, I'm never getting the shot. Polo says, you aren't a sheep. I wish everyone else would realize that and wake the fuck up, because there's big problems in what's going on right now, and there's so many people playing along. It's kind of scary. Steel City says, Pennsylvania is destroyed. We are from opioids and other drugs. I'm getting sick and tired of seeing needles on every commercial for COVID. Like, stop showing this country needles. We don't need that. I agree. Let's see. Jacob says, I've worked in during the latter COVID times. Never got it. Jim says, taking out the diamonds for this sesh. Thank you, fam. We will take a nice fat dab right after I pour this shot. And actually, this is one of the last tracks on here, so let's go ahead and find something else to listen to anyway. Much love to all of you. 15 homies in the chat. What's going on? Polo says they are working on edible vaccines. Well, yeah, because at some point, they're not going to make it a choice. They're just going to put it into the water supply. Like, you know, it's not, I don't know. It's going to become a real problem. And all I have to say is, what is so deadly about this disease that has like a 98% recovery rate? I think it's even higher than that, but I don't want to go like the 99 point what at that, because I might get misquoted. So we'll be generous. We'll say 98% recovery rate. If it's that bad, why is this vaccine so important that it needs to get pushed on us? And I think that it's either part of a psychological experiment to see how many people are going to cave under the propaganda. Because let's not forget that propaganda is actually legal here in the United States. President Obama signed a bill that was saying, that actually said that it's okay to use propaganda on us. So what we're hearing in the news may not necessarily be what's actually going on. Just throwing that out there. And there's going to be people that disagree with me. That's awesome. But again, you know, one thing that I'll throw out is, before I left the mental health industry, I was working in a facility with, when I left, full capacity was 45 people. We had like 38. So we were coming up on full capacity. And when I worked my shift, it was me and one person in the med room. And to give you guys an idea of how that would go, I basically have to take care of the entire facility with those 38 crazy motherfuckers. And the med person has to oversee a room about this big that's full of medication. And maybe twice during my shift, everyone would line up outside of that room and take their medication, and then they would be there until maybe like 9 o'clock. So that was the extent of their job. For the most part, I did everything else. And we're talking about running the gamut from people with full-blown AIDS to people with Alzheimer's to just they fucking mental health and just fucking gnarly shit. So that whole time, I was there for a good 7-8 months. I never got sick. And that was right at the beginning of the pandemic. And these motherfuckers were leaving and doing all kinds of crazy shit. So, again, like, I don't buy it. I don't fucking buy it. And I'm sorry if you want to disagree. I'm sorry if you know somebody who knew somebody whose aunt's daughter's left nut got fucking COVID and died from it. I'm sorry, but that's not enough proof for me. Because that's the thing is, and people are going to disagree, it's fine. I kind of feel like they just renamed the flu, because people die from the flu. Like, we may not think about it, but people actually die from the flu. That's a real thing. I think they just kind of renamed it and attribute the deaths from that to this new one. And what I also think is crazy is that right after the vaccines came out, a bunch of people started dying, and it was told to us by the people that run things and the media and all that. We were told that those deaths were because there was a new variant that had come out. And what I think is strange about that is, as a conspiracy theorist, it seems more likely that the vaccine was killing people and that they were using a new variant as an excuse, because you have to have a story for why people are going to die even though they're taking the medicine. So why not just say that a new one came out? And I don't know. I think that we're being set up. I think that a lot of people are drinking the Kool-Aid, and you don't have to agree with what I'm saying, but just look into what's going on right now. Look into the way things are being presented and the way information is being funneled. And I don't know, if you don't have questions, if things don't start popping up and you can't connect dots, you have been perfectly indoctrinated. You are exactly the citizen that they want you to be. And I really hope that most people are able to connect those dots and to see that shit is off. You know, like, just that shit is off. That's all. And so I've said this on many streams, and I will continue to say it. You don't have to take what I'm saying seriously. You don't have to agree with me or believe it. Look it up. Look it up and verify it. Do the same thing with your own beliefs and thoughts and see what's actually true. And that's all I'm saying, people. Just think, please, for the love of God, think just a little bit more. Just think. Stay lit. People don't think for themselves anymore. They have the media think for them. You know, there is a crazy quote that I ran across the other day that is stuck with me, and I think about it when I talk to people about shit like this, and it runs across my head real quick, but it said, stop expecting honesty from people who lie to themselves. When you're talking about certain subjects, there are people who understand what the truth is, but actively lie to themselves about it, because accepting the truth about the world instead of the lie they choose to believe would mean restructuring everything. And it's way easier to just hold that one irrational belief than to do all of that restructuring. It's too much work. So, you know, just know your audience. We can't always turn the light on for people, but sometimes we can plant the seed. And there's just something in their brain that, you know, they can't help it. Water keeps spilling out their glass, and that seed, it blossoms into a plant, and that plant just grows a whole bunch of vines into their brain, and before they know it, they're neck deep into that thing that they were disagreeing with us about. And you know, I have to accept the fact that I may not be the person that's there. Ding, the thing happens, but I may be the person that plants the seed, and they might end up 6 months to a year to 3 years to 5 years from now being like, man, fucking dead Cynic, the fucking asshole. I still can't get that point out of my head. I don't like the fact, I don't like him, but you know what? That was a good point. If I can do that, then I should be okay with doing that, because as long as people learn and start questioning the narrative, that's what we all need to do, is ask more fucking questions. At any given time, question everything. You know what I think is funny? Random Andy says, if the hospitals go along with it, what do? We learn how to fucking take care of ourselves like we used to before there were hospitals. You know, we used to fucking be a self-sufficient world before we westernized and economized and fucking consumerized everything. Now we can't do shit on our own. But you know, if you're an outdoorsman and you're living off the grid, you have to know basic shit like how to set a bone or how to do this or that. So it's not that we wouldn't be able to do it. It's just that people are so fucking dependent on the system nowadays that living like that is like, it is almost unthinkable. Like, how the fuck do you, because if we have no experience doing it. Random Andy says, I have no fucking shots and I'm caring for my stepdad with cirrhosis. Let's see. Paulo says 9/11 here in 6 minutes. Stay Lit says that's probably why our ancestors were much smarter and had better technology, since they thought for themselves. And those thoughts were allowed. You know, part of the problem with our country being more of a business than a country is shit like monopolism. We don't have cars that run on water, not because they don't exist. Those patents exist, but they've been bought by companies that they're oil barons. And the reason why is, why would somebody whose entire business runs on people buying fossil fuels and shit like that, why would you ever want a new type of car to come out? And that's why electric cars are, for the most part, fairly inefficient. And the crazy thing is electric cars aren't even a new thing. They've been around for at least 100 years, and they used to be pretty efficient when they first came out. So it's weird that we haven't even made any progress in the time that we've had the technology, and we re-release it like it's some new great fucking thing. I think that that's kind of a setup, because they want you to view everything except for gas-driven cars as inefficient and fucking useless. But yeah, those patents exist. They're just sitting on a shelf. There's totally a patent and a fucking blueprint for how to build a car that just runs on water. But we're never going to see that, because that's not going to make the oil barons any money. Zaku says, I can't even go out in the wilderness and shoot guns. Panda Cat, what's going on, fam? Got the elbow cough. Let's see. Apollo, great point. We are dependent on the system that disables us. It is paradoxical, and it's also magnificently run and thought of. You know, that's a great system where you make people dependent on a system that basically renders them utterly useless in the natural world. We should be able to survive without all of the commercial shit that we have in cities and towns, but there are not very many people that, if they were just left in the middle of a forest, they would be able to survive more than a few days. And that's the truth. Shit, myself included, depending on the situation. I might do okay in like a forest setting, but like if you landed me in some extreme cold or in the desert, I would be fucked. Okay. It is coming up on 9 o'clock. We have 15 homies in the chat. Coming up on an hour as far as the stream goes. What's going on, guys? I would say let's shoot for an hour and a half, but it always turns into 2 hours. So let's just shoot for 2 hours. That would leave us with an hour left. We're coming up on the first shot of the night. I'm not in Doge, but I have a Doge. He's right there just chewing on a ball. And so I didn't want him to be bored, because when I start streaming and I'm talking to the camera, he has to know or understand that I'm interacting with other people, because he gets excited and he likes to be more active when I'm doing that. So before I got on camera, I made sure to take him outside so that he could grab his ball and bring it in here. I'm glad I did that, because yeah, he's going ham on that thing right now. Stay Lit says we could probably be unstoppable if us humans actually came together and didn't care about money. Easton says, just randomly came across this guy. What's it all about? What's going on, Easton? So my channel is primarily for members of the 42710 community, and we talk about stuff that has to do with dabbing, smoking weed, Where we kind of diverge from that would be the live stream that you happen to catch us on. And so when we have live streams, we kind of just talk about whatever. We hang out for a little bit, take some dabs, take some shots, tell some stories. Sometimes people might join me on camera, depending. But yeah, we just kind of hang out and have a good time. So sounds like this is your first time here. Much love from California. And you got here just in time because we're about to pour a shot of some whiskey. Apollo says, when money is the means and people are the goal, vice is the current way, which is backwards. And you know what's interesting about Stay Lit's point is there's actually... Hey, Easton says, weird thing is I just did a fat-ass dab before I found this. Then you came to the right place, good sir. We have nice little Illuminati recycler here. We got 4 ruby pearls in the bucket. We got an opaled out. This actually has 16 opals in the handle. Nice little quilt pattern. And yeah, we're going to take a nice fat dab. So you came to the right place, my friend. Much love and cheers from California. Let's go ahead and take a shot. Okay, to Stay Lit's point right there. So that's actually scripture. The Tower of Babel failed because God came down and confused the language, because humanity had gathered, not only had all of humanity gathered in one spot for the first and only time in history, but they were actually united in their goal. And God himself said anything that they plan to do will be accomplished. So when that's kind of the scary thing about, I shouldn't say mob mentality, but like the unity of purpose, is that when people actually have the same goals in mind and they are working for a common good and they're actually on the same fucking side, there are some incredible things that fucking go down. But that's one thing that has been very well implemented against us, is there's all these little things out in the world that divide us, whether it's, oh, you don't watch the same football team, you don't watch the same soccer team, you don't watch the same hockey team, oh, you're not a Democrat, you're not a fucking liberal, or you're not a conservative, or you're not a fucking blah blah blah, or a blah blah blah. And there's all of these different fucking stupid, incredibly meaningless facets of absolutely nothing that we hold against each other and we argue about, instead of actually being able to band together as a people and get some shit done. So it's, some of it's on us, some of it is on this very well laid out plan that is used against us at any given time. But yeah, it's, I gotta say, people that run shit, they run shit because they're really smart. They may not be on our side, but that doesn't mean that they aren't smart. These people are smart as fuck. Yes. What's going on, miss? I have never seen you before. She says, cheers, dabbing on some OG Kush right now. That sounds bomb as fuck, because I really like indicas and Kushes, so that is my kind of shit. Much love to you from California, miss. We are about to take the first shot of the night. I have said that about 4 or 5 times, so I need to shut the fuck up and pour it. And that's what we're going to do right now. So much love to you guys, 15 homies in the chat. We got some Knob Creek. And we are a little past an hour, about an hour and 3 minutes in, 4 minutes now. I'm doing pretty good. I actually waited to take that. So that first dab that we took at the beginning of the stream, I hadn't taken a dab for a good couple of hours before that. So that one got me pretty good. I'm looking forward to the next dab that we're going to take, because that's going to be some of that GMO cake. I love me some GMO. That dankiness of the garlic is definitely nice. Let's see. Stay lit. Panda Cat says, dabbing on some jungle mince shatter. Much love, fam. Stay lit says, that's true. People care too much about senseless stuff instead of thinking of ways to make the earth and or humans better. Hector says Nikola Tesla said the keys of the universe are understanding energy, frequencies, and vibration. I absolutely agree with that, fam. Hector also says that he is smoking on some GMO rosin. I love me some GMOs, so cheers to you, fam. Yaya says, first time catching a live, sending love from the Oaktown. Hey, that's what's up, miss. Thank you so much for tuning in. Who was I talking to? I think it was Easton. He came in for the first time as well. Basically, miss, my channel is about 42710 content. We talk about stuff like dabbing accessories, bubble caps, and dabbers, and dab rigs, and all of that good stuff. But here on the live streams, we kind of take a left turn and we just hang out for a little bit, have a place where we can just congregate for a little while and do our thing, fucking just talk about whatever. There are nights where we will do a specific subject. In particular, I like to do paranormal nights where we talk about demons and ghosts and aliens and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, the last couple of weeks, we've just been doing Friday Night Funk, where we just kind of chill and talk about whatever. Okay. Apollo, I am not skipping your comments, but you're leaving a lot, and I'm not going to read every single one of everybody's comments. So if you expect me to read every single comment you leave, I'm going to disappoint you, and I'm telling you that right now. But I will read a couple of them. I'll even put them up here. So Apollo says, never forget what a billionaire would do for more billions. Inside job. So I think wherever he is, it's already 9/11, and that's why he's talking about that. And then I also want to put this up there. Why are you skipping all my comments? I just went over why I'm not. So hopefully now you get the message, because if I get something like that in the chat again, I will remove you. I make it nice and simple. So there's your warning. Let's move forward. CDN says, I wanted to ask you about the ruby pearls. How long have you had them for? The regular ones start to look like they are about to break after a while. And so CDN, that's why you have to make the differentiation definitely between the quartz, the glass, and that's the thing, is I'm not even sure if they make quartz pearls, but I think that they do exist. So you have glass, you have quartz, and then you have stuff like the lab-grown gemstones, and those are actually a couple of different types in variation as well, because you have rubies, you have sapphires. I think that you also have a couple of different, there might be emeralds, but I'm not exactly sure. But I know for sure that there's rubies and sapphires, and then they have stuff like the carbide ones. I have had these for at least, shit, if I were to go, and that's the thing, fam, is I would have to ballpark it because I don't know exactly how long, but I want to say that I've had them for at least 6 to 8 months now, and they're not discolored at all. But you do have, like, you just have to make sure that you follow the rules. And what I'll say about that is, Apollo says, sorry, not often I can converse with a cool person. Oh, shit, Apollo, really appreciate that, fam. A little excited. You know what? That is awesome to hear. I'm glad that you're excited to be here. I am excited to have you here. And I don't mean to insult you when I say that. I'm just saying I have 13 other folks that I'm trying to talk to in the chat here. It's not that I would ignore you. I try not to ignore anybody. So yeah, I will try and cover as many comments as I can. Random Andy says, I ran out of Rick and Morty. I need more. Rick and Morty is a dope series. One of my favorite series, actually, is Samurai Jack. If you guys have never seen that, that is definitely one that you would enjoy. Easton says, time for another dab of some Snowman Reclaim. Stay Lit would like to know if I like auto flowers, and Panda Cat says, gotta grow it to smoke it from Pismo Beach. That's what's up. Okay, so Panda Cat says, auto is cool. Stay Lit, I'm not exactly sure if you were asking me that or not. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I don't smoke a whole lot of herb. I mostly dab. So I don't normally have a lot of flower on hand. And usually when I do, I try and stick to indica. Now, whether that's an autoflower or not, I really don't know, because when I get it from the grower, I don't ask them. But I don't think I would really have a problem with it as long as it's grown properly. Let's see. Hector says, thoughts on inner earth. So I definitely think that there are layers to the earth. I think it also depends on what your actual cosmology is. Because if you believe, let's say that you believe in a globe earth, in a spinning round ball earth, then what you would believe is in like the hollow earth or the inner earth theory. If you have more of like a flat earth cosmology, then that cosmology already implies that there is a layer underneath what we're already walking on that has space to it. So not necessarily that it's another earth, but that particular cosmology. And what's funny is both, whether you believe that we live on a spinning ball or whether you believe that the earth is flat, both cosmologies have side note variations of their universe where there is some kind of way to enter into that place, whether it's the globe and you can go inside the inner earth, or whether it's flat and you just go into all of the cavernous places that are underneath us. Lewis says, you believe in flat earth or round? I don't think that that's an important argument, because that really gets to people. And honestly, if you're not willing to have an open mind in the discussion and you just want to argue over whether one is right or wrong, then no actual information gets exchanged and nobody learns anything. So what I will say is that when discussing that topic, it's good to have a fair understanding of the science and how it relates to your cosmology. Because a lot of people, let's say that you believe in a globe, in a spinning ball earth, and you discuss something with someone that believes in a flat earth. One misconception about that universe is that the person that believes in the flat earth thinks that the rest of the universe is the same. So all the planets are big, round, spinning ball planets, and then in the middle of that, there's a flat earth. No, their entire fucking cosmology is different. Just like a person talking to someone that believes in the spinning ball earth. Their cosmology is completely different, because they believe that there's this infinite vastness of space, whereas the person that believes in a flat earth believes that everything is contained within basically a self-sustaining system, and that we're in more or less a large terrarium. So I think it's important. Steve G, what's going on, fam? Carlius Grow, what's going on, fam? I think that it's important, no matter what you believe, if you actually think that it's a good idea to argue with people about it, then one thing you should understand is where the people that you're arguing with are coming from. So it's good to research both sides, even if you think one is wrong. Because one thing that you may find is that, as stupid as the other side sounds, once you start investigating it, you might be like, oh shit. And that goes for either cosmology. As a flat earther, you might think that a spinning ball is stupid, and then actually start looking into the math and the videos and the science behind it and be like, wow, that shit is really a ball. Same thing from the other side. Because I can't tell people what's right or wrong. All I can do is present you with the evidence and say, do the fucking research. Actually do the research yourself. Ask the questions yourself, and we can discuss it later. Lewis says, just asking, not trying to cause conflict. That's awesome, fam. Stay Lit says, crazy how we have to debate if the earth is flat or round. That's how much our government lies to us. For real, fam. We don't. And so aside from that, this place that we live on is just so, I don't know, it's so vast. Apollo says, or you can right now hop aboard Virgin Galactic, see for yourself if you have enough money. But the actual numbers, the actual percentage, like if you were to look up how much of the ocean have we explored? It's less than 10%. So just here on the place that we live on, there's 90% of the ocean that we have no fucking idea what's out there. There's parts of the, even with how much deforestation we cause with our crazy fucking needs where we gotta chop shit down all the time, even with that going on at a constant basis, there are parts of rainforests and jungles that we have still no fucking idea about. So there's so much of this world just here before we even leave and start thinking about other shit out there. There's so much here that we have no fucking idea about. It amazes me. And that's the thing is there's this crazy hubris to humans where we like to think that we know a lot more than we do. And we like to think that because, we have technology and I can connect to all of you guys and we can all chill right here, that, if we could do shit like this, we must have pretty much everything else on lock, right? Nah, the truth is there's a lot that we know fucking nothing about. And we're fairly clever, but there's a lot that we know nothing about. So Apollo, that is a great, I'm going to go ahead and post it up there, fam, because that's a great fucking, stay humble. Question everything and stay humble, because I'm down to discuss whatever the fuck you guys want, and I will throw out as many points that I think are valid. But I'm never going to say this is what I think is right, this is what I think is wrong. I may have those thoughts, but the goal is not to tell you guys that. The goal is to present you guys with information. Do whatever the fuck you want with that. Okay. Hector's saying, preach it. Well, fam, I'm just trying to be honest. One thing that I think would be awesome as a community that smokes weed and all that kind of is for us to have a place where we can actually go and exchange ideas and do shit like this and, be able to hang out for a little bit. Easton says, do you think it's possible that the universe is just a fishbowl in another universe with another civilization that's just a fishbowl in another universe? I think that it's possible, fam. But then I would ask, where is the evidence? Because, a lot of things are possible, but then we have to also discuss, is it probable? Because even if it's possible or probable, it still may not actually happen. So yes, I think it's possible. It may even be probable. But I don't actually think that's how the universe is laid out. Let's see. What do you side with, the concept of a parallel multiverse or... And then he didn't say anything. Random Manny says, what if dinosaurs... I think he meant to say, what did dinosaurs use to get high? Or no, he is actually asking the question, what if dinosaurs used to get high? All right. I'm sure that there was some kind of... Because, in jungles and shit, when fruit gets overripe, animals will wait for that shit, and they'll fucking mash on it when it gets hella fermented, and they'll get drunk on it. So they know, animals aren't completely stupid. They may be less aware of certain things than we are, but they're not dumb. Animals are, it doesn't matter. And it could be an insect. Insects, bees. You look at the behavior of bees. Their shit is so fucking complex in how they build their hives, how they make each cell a hexagon, all this kind of shit. It's very highly sophisticated and scientific. It's just that they're kind of one drive. We're blessed to be able to have all of that complexity, but to be able to actually think about it too. Random Andy says dolphins chew on pufferfish and deer eat shrooms. So I've heard, aside from like chewing on the pufferfish to make them release the toxins, they also make them puff up so they can use them like a ball underwater. So they just fuck with pufferfish all the time. Hector, so snow globe theory. Well, basically, if you were to believe in flat Earth, Hector, you would believe in the snow globe theory, because that's more or less what a flat Earth is. It is an enclosed system, a terrarium. Nico says, I'm barely sure I exist. For real, fam. Apollo says dinosaurs got high on mushies. There was probably something, dude. There had to be something. Okay, so I gotta come back to where the chat is right now. We still haven't taken this fucking shot, and I'm almost out of ginger ale, so I'm gonna go get a fresh one, because I've been doing a lot of talking, and that dab gave me hella cotton mouth, so my tongue is dry as fuck right now. And we just killed that one. So you guys go ahead and watch this dude continue to destroy that ball. I will be back in just a second. But he's a good boy. Ah, good boy. Oh, yeah. Hector, thank you, fam. He is chewing on his ball. He's got a couple outside. Some are in better condition than the one that he chose, but that was the closest one to the door. So before the stream, I had him grab it so he'd have something that he could mess with while I'm doing my thing. I went ahead and grabbed a can of ginger ale for when we get done with this bottle. We won't even have to get up. But yes, he is my best friend, Hector. I've had him since he was 1.5 years, and he's going on... That's not what I was going to say. That's just a burp. I think he's going to be like 9 years old next year in January. I'm not exactly sure. He's either going to be 8 or 9. But I've had him for a while now, and he's my best friend. And so he's half pit bull and he's half corgi. When I picked him up, his paperwork said that he was half basset hound, and I believed that for the longest time, because he's kind of long and he's sort of short too. Like he's longer than most pit bulls that I've seen, and he's short. But I didn't really see, like, I was expecting him, if he was half basset hound, to have really floppy ears. And one day I was petting him and I was kind of messing with his face, and I propped his ears up, and I noticed that when his ears are just up, he's got a corgi face. Easton says, is it ethical to get a dog high? Well, I think it depends on the personality of the dog, because there are some dogs and even some cats and stuff where they, like, I had a buddy, whenever he would smoke, the cat would go up to his face and try and like get in his face as he was exhaling his smoke. So I will say that I think it depends on the animal's personality, because there are animals that don't like it. And to that, I would say if I had a dog like that, I would probably shoo him out of the room before I smoke. But he's been with me for so long that, like, he doesn't want me to blow it in his face, but I'm going to fucking get this room, like, even the dab that I blew before, he didn't change what he was doing. He just kept chewing on his ball because he doesn't care. But yeah, he's not trying to have it blown right in his face. He's not trying to like get super high. Jacob says, well, you can use CBD to help their joints. And as a matter of fact, I do that a lot. There is a CBD company called Whole Leaf Naturals, which is actually run by a friend of mine, a really nice lady. And she sends me drops, and I put about 6 to 8 in his food when I decide to use it. Right now, he's got a bunch of vitamins, so I don't need it because those vitamins are specifically for his joints and his hips. But when he does need it, I do have it, and it is effective. Okay, time to finally take this fucking shot. Much love to all of you guys. Hope everyone is having a good Friday. And actually, let's go ahead and throw this out there since it is the first shot. Make sure that if you're watching me on your phone and you're not actually at home, if you're somewhere where you're socializing, you're at a bar, you're at a party, make sure that you can get home safely. Don't try and drive yourself home if you get swifty, if you take a couple shots. It's not worth a DUI. Don't fuck with your driving record. There's a bunch of different things that you can call. You got Uber, you got Lyft, you got taxis. So there's at least 3 different services right there. I'm sure there's a couple of more. Depending on where you are, there's local services that I've probably never heard of. But there is a way for you to get home where you don't have to drive yourself if you don't need to. So all I'm going to say is be safe out there, because I want to make sure that you make it safely back next week to another live stream. And yeah, you guys are my homies, so be safe out there. Let's see. Jacob says, yeah, I saw this video about an older dog who was having trouble getting around. They gave him the CBD treat and he was like a puppy. Just about, it was crazy. Absolutely. That as a supplement, CBD for their joints and all that kind of stuff, it does help. It makes a difference, and it's a great supplement to any dog's diet. So if you don't want to buy like a bunch of fucking expensive vitamins and shit like that, but you have access to good quality CBD, you can easily use that instead, and it does totally make a difference. So yeah, much love to anybody that does use that, and I hope that your pet lives long and prosperously. Cheers, everybody. Let's drink some fucking whiskey. Oh, Knob Creek, bring that spice. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna do GMO cake. It's gonna be next. I feel like I need to hawk a loogie. Like there's just this little fucking thing in the back of my throat that I just need to get up because it keeps bugging me. But it won't. Can't get it all the way up. There we go. Just had to get off camera for a second. Okay, so for these chunks, it's a little easier because I have 2 kind of main things that I like to dab with. I have my paddle right here, and actually probably be able to get a better angle of the opals. So this paddle that I have has a neat little pattern to it where there's a bunch of opals. Let's see if we can get it to focus. I don't know why it does this. I wish I knew why it has such a hard time focusing on something. Like, it's right there. Focus on it, bitch. And I wish I could use my hand as a background, but I'm trying to hold the camera with my other hand. So maybe do it this way. Look, even that's not... Oh, there we go. Finally. About fucking time, right? But there's... I want to say those are probably like 2 or 3 millimeter opal coins. And those are laid into the pattern. Man, I think I just need to get a better camera. Because I've tried and see, as soon as I start to turn it though, will it stay? Oh, we finally got it to stay. Good call, Easton. So let's get some good shots since we finally got this bitch to focus. The other one that we use, because this is a paddle. So the other one is a shovel. We got the Mystic Timber shovel right here. Oh, damn. I missed my bottle cap. Didn't get in the trash there. So Easton wants to know where you get a pick like that. So you would get that from Cellini and Company, and that is spelled CELLINI. And if you are on Instagram and you type that up, Cellini and Company, you will see their heady dabbers. They have different drops at different shops and stuff, and then whenever they have something available, they'll also post it on their website. So it just depends on whether or not they have something available. 420 says Biden forcing the jab is unconstitutional. You know, we did talk about COVID a little bit earlier and how, you know, in my opinion, it's kind of a setup. So I will definitely agree, 420, that I will agree with you that I disagree with what he's doing. He is setting up a civil war, all part of the plan. And what's unfortunate is that instead of seeing what we're being led into, people really are arguing and being like, are you vaxxed? You better be vaxxed. So there are people that are really taking it to that level instead of seeing what's going on. And that's kind of what's sad. But yeah, so for the GMO cake, because it's definitely got a solid consistency to it, we need a shovel. So we're just going to take a nice fat chunk out with the shovel there. And we're just going to, just so that you guys get more than a side view, because, you know, that might be really thin. I might be showing you that side because that's just the sexy side, and really it's not much of a dab. But then we're just going to turn it to the side so you can actually see how fat that little chunk is. We're going to dab that right now. Paulo says, unvaxxed, we stand united. I ain't taking no fucking shot, fam. You know, I think it's highly suspect when the government wants you to do something this bad. Highly suspect. Easton says, I'm loving how we can all talk about ideas, even politics, in a civil way. Easton, I think that there should be a place where we can be allowed to disagree with each other in a respectful way. We should have a place where even if I don't agree with what you have to say, I respect you enough to let you say it, as long as you aren't aggressive or like overly into your shit. Like, we should have a place where we can come and hang out and just fucking talk. Because that's what friends do, right? That's what you do when you have a chill sesh with your homies and you're just fucking throwing out random shit to get people to think. Like, this is what you do, right? So I'm just trying to make that available to everybody. And again, I'm not saying that's part of my tenets, you know? I'm not a cartoon character. I'm not here to be politically correct. I'm not going to say things that everyone agrees with. I don't think that we should have to agree on everything to be friends. Friends can disagree on shit. the things, we all have different thoughts, and that's what makes us special and individual, is that we all think differently. Miss Yayas wants to know where I get my extract from. So because I live in the Central Valley in Visalia, I go through one of two places. There's a local guy that I've been doing business with for a while that I can call up, and he usually has some meds on hand. And there's also a guy that I order from that I've been doing business with for a couple of months. His name is Blast Union, and he does really good business. He's got really good product, and everything that I picked up off of him I've always liked. That's actually what we're about to take a dab of right now, is some lava cake from Blast Union. Ed Wren, what's going on, fam? Hector says, open-minded patience is love, so good vibes. Easton says, talking about the damn mandate, I just lost my job today because I wouldn't get vaxxed. Easton, I respect you, fam. And you know what? That is hella fucked up. We're going to go ahead and post your comment up there. So we actually have someone who is a casualty of the pandemic, and not in a way that it took his life actually, but it took his way of him supporting himself for the time being. Now he's got to find a whole nother fucking job. And what I think is interesting and kind of a setup is, if this pandemic is so bad, why is the medical field prepared to let go of all the people who aren't willing to get vaccinated? If this pandemic is so fucking bad, don't they need all of those people working in those medical fields? Why is it okay to let them go if they don't do this one particular thing, if we're in this state and we need them so badly? We're being set up. Apollo and my little brother, you guys from the same, well, just because you went to the same high school doesn't mean you're part of the same class. Damn, I got another thing in my throat. Okay. Let me put these books back, guys. Hector says, population control. Bill Gates said that we needed to get rid of at least 3 billion people. And if you want to get even crazier than that, actually, hold on. If you want to go on an even deeper rabbit hole than that, the Georgia Guidestones say that we need to keep humanity in perpetual balance with nature, which means sustaining it somewhere around 500 million. So, and that I might have the incorrect figure on that, but I'm pretty sure that the figure on the Georgia Guidestones is like less than 1 billion. So if they go based on those criteria, we're at over 7 billion in the population right now. How they need to get rid of most of us. So really, it just depends on what extermination plan you think they're following, because there's a couple. And that's the thing, is we're not important to these people. We're just the ones that make the stuff, and more we're being replaced by automation. So wherever it is that they can replace a human being and just have a machine do it, that's already being implemented. We're not that important. Luis says, it is 500 million. You're right. Okay, so my studies into the occult have paid off. I do remember correct figures. And plus, we're only one shot in. But yes, Georgia Guidestones say we need to keep humanity in balance with nature, and that means sustaining it at around 500 million in the population. That literally means destroying most of us that are alive today. So, kind of crazy shit. Really think about it. Easton says, I'm lucky enough that my main line of work is untouched, and coming back from the Kung Flu, I can finally return to my job I'm passionate about after over a year. Well, you know what, Easton? Maybe that was just God closing that particular opportunity because of what it entailed and opening this new one for you so that you could flourish in it. So I'm gonna be wishing you the best, fam. Thank you so much for tuning in, and yeah, I'm gonna be saying prayers that it goes gravy with the new opportunity that you are going back to. Corey says, what's good, boss man? Hope you're doing well. Glad I didn't miss it while I'm working. Much love, Corey. We are going to take shot number 2, and then we're going to take a nice fat dab of some lava cake. We got the side right here, but just to show you guys, because it's a thick little boy, right? Oh, look at that. It's a nice chunky little boy. We're going to be throwing that in the banger. My little brother, speaking in an orc voice as the government, let's kill them and loot their corpses. Let's see. Stay lit. Would like to know if I believe Stephen Hawking's theory about 2012. Going to be totally honest, fam. I do not know what that theory is, so I have no idea. But I do know that we're going to take shot number 2 and take a nice fat dab. So I hope that all of you have something to smoke on, dab on, drink on. Much love, and thank you for joining me. Fuck. That 2-hour mark came up pretty quick, didn't it? We're already on 1 hour and 40 minutes. Damn, y'all get me to fucking talking. I don't even realize how fast that shit goes by. I thought that we were just barely over an hour still. Like, I'm pretty sure the last time I looked at the clock was 20 minutes ago, because I was like, we're 1 hour and 20 in. We still got some time. No, I fucking don't. I need to take this shot and take this dab. Easton says, okay, I need someone to text me directly when every single live is going to start. Who's up to do it? Easton, thank you so much, fam. Hey, much love to you from California. There is actually a way for you to get notifications if you go to my YouTube channel. On my channel, there's like a little bell somewhere on there. If you click that bell, it should give you a couple of options as far as to what you want notifications for, or it should give you a couple ways that it looks. But depending on how you tap it or the options that you select, it will let you know when I do a new post or when I go live. You can totally set that up. So to anybody watching right now, if you guys are here for the first time or you didn't know that, there is a way for you to actually put your notification on to let you know when I'm making a new post or when I'm going live. And again, thank you guys so much for the support. 16 homies in the chat. You guys are the shit. Easton says, I already did that, but my phone is messed up. Easton, I love the dedication, fam. Thank you so much for tuning in. And hey, like, that always makes me happy. Now you got me all amped up. Okay. Stay Lit was saying something about the Higgs boson particle. Well, okay, if it has to do with the God particle, I know that the CERN project is all about recreating the effects that produce the Big Bang and therefore looking for that particle. I don't know how the experiment is going so far, but I know that there's a lot of occultic shit tied to that project, which we could definitely get into on another live stream, because that would definitely make for a good paranormal night. Yeah, you can't eat the rubber, dude. You got to spit it out. Okay, let me take this shot real quick, and then I will answer. Oh, Jesus. So I'm trying to keep up, guys, but like even with just 15 people in the chat, it's going kind of fast, so I may not get to everybody's comment. Hector says, any good book recommendations or authors? So if you were paying attention, fam, I had like 3 books out here earlier that I was talking about. Propaganda, The Communist Manifesto, and How to Lie Using Statistics. So there's 3 books right there. I'm not going to go into my bookshelf and get 3 more because I'm trying to take this shot and take these dabs. But I appreciate it. Much love. Thank you for asking the question. Let's see. Easton says, and I have too many notifications on YouTube because my account is 16 years old. Oh, shit. So you've been on for a minute. Shit's scary and the news don't even speak about it. Stay lit. Okay, so I will look up more into the God particle, yes, stay lit. We will have to do not even necessarily like a paranormal night, but just like we'll do a night called Weird Science, where we can talk about shit that kind of mixes the two, because the CERN project is kind of fucking out there. Like, there's some shit going on, aside from the fact that the office that you walk into when you go to the CERN project, like, let's say that the 13 homies that are here right now, let's say that we took a field trip out to the CERN project. This is going to be some interesting shit. So I hope that you guys understand the references when I put them out there. I know some of you will, but I don't think everyone will. I hope everyone will. Okay, so let's say all of us took a field trip out to the CERN project. The first thing that we would notice is walking up to the office on the outside, there's a giant metal statue of Shiva dancing in the ring of fire, which is basically like the destruction of a universe or the creation of a black hole, however you want to see it. But it's Shiva dancing in a ring of fire. And it was a gift that was given to them, I think, by the Chinese government, because CERN is a collection of the world's greatest minds all working on this Hadron Collider. So there are scientists from all over the world. And that's on the outside before we even go into the motherfucker. This is a highly scientific building with a statue of a religious deity on the outside. But then we actually go into the main office. And for those of you that have ever seen the movie Blade, when Blade goes into the vampire headquarters and there's all of these like old school papyrus sheets that are encased in glass, and he's walking through this hallway that's like lined with all of this hella old school shit, that is literally how it looks in the front office of the CERN project. In their fucking office, when you walk in, they did that shit. There's like some kind of ancient hieroglyphics or some really, really old fucking manuscript that they have all laid out in the office exactly like that. And that shit is fucking crazy. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not even saying it represents this or that. I'm just saying that shit is fucking crazy. Like, who does that? Who the fuck does that? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother night that we can get into at a whole different time. Much love to all of you guys. We're coming up on that 2-hour mark, about an hour and 48 minutes in. Let's go ahead and clean up this banger just a little bit more, and then we will heat it up and take another fat dab. We got some lava cake looking us right in the face here. Cheers to all of you guys. Climax says the Book of Erebus, the Vampire Bible, watch Blade last night. Yes! So you know what I'm talking about, fam. Bruh, they got that shit at the CERN project. Like, all just the way that they had it, too. Like, fuck. That is some creepy shit. Easton, CERN, C-E-R-N. Apollo says, why don't you smoke flower? More purity? So one of the main reasons, fam, is it started out of respect for the buddy that I live with. I actually rent some rooms from my friend who owns this house. So this is not my house. And I feel like it would be kind of disrespectful to smoke herb inside, because that shit permeates the walls at some point. And I've lived with him for a couple of years now. We're going on like 3 or 4 years as roommates. So again, he doesn't smoke weed in any capacity. He doesn't smoke, he doesn't dab, none of that shit. And I just feel like it would be disrespectful, because I dab heavy. I know I make the house smell a little bit, and he's cool with that. So again, I just feel like it would be disrespectful to smoke weed and make it hella smell like weed in here all the time. Look at this little ham. Getting all comfortable on his bed. But yeah, that's part of it. Another part of it is I smoked bud for the longest time, and I've been dabbing for a long time. It's just my tolerance has built up to a point where dabbing is just how I achieve that high. If I were to smoke bud, I would need to sit here and go through so many fucking bowls before I got to the level of taking a dab. And to be completely honest with you guys, I know that there's people that are going to disagree or hate on me for saying it, but taking a dab tastes so much better. You know, like, I know that weed can taste amazing, but you can't take 7 or 8 fucking rips out of the same bong and tell me that it tastes amazing, because the resin's going to start to build on the 3rd hit, and by the time you get to the 8th, you're going to have a bunch of shit floating around in there, and it's just going to taste bad. Whereas there's been a lot of times where there's a certain dab that I took where it flavored the water, and it's like, damn, that tastes amazing with the rest of this stuff. And I'll just say that it takes so much longer for me to be like, okay, I need to change the water out in a dab rig as opposed to a bong. So it's just different shit. Easton says, heck, I've managed to learn to smoke bud in my 450 square foot studio without my neighbors knowing, and I dab because they taste better too. And Easton, so like I totally understand that, but the thing is so again, situation's a little different. You're in a studio apartment, I'm in a house with another person who doesn't smoke weed. So even if I made, like, maybe I could contain it to this room, I still think it's disrespectful that every time he walks by, that's what he can smell. And I don't know, like, you can hide it to a certain extent, but like if someone's living in the same house with you, that's a little different. So I totally respect the fact that you've been able to do that, and cheers, brother. But at the same, Easton says it's a converted old house, all the vents are connected, then honestly, your other roommates know that you smoke weed and they don't care. They're just being nice about it, because there's no fucking way. There's absolutely no fucking way, because weed smoke permeates the walls just like cigarette smoke. So depending on how long you've been there, let's say that you've been there for over a year, the walls of your room smell like weed. And if nobody said anything, that's great, but that also just means that you live in a house full of people that are cool with weed. Hector checking out for the night. He says, you guys have a good night. Stay safe. Take care. Much love, fam. Easton says, I have a vented bathroom at the far corner. I smoke in and burn incense 24/7. And I mean, I'm sure that they appreciate the fact that you burn incense, but Yeah, I'm sure they're also very aware of the fact that you smoke weed, and you probably just have some cool housemates. 420 going old school. Says studio apartment, you make what I call a smoker. Get that toilet paper tube, layer it with a dryer sheet and facial tissue. Oh yeah, those. So I used to work in head shops, and when the Smoke Buddy came out, I laughed and I was like, so they actually took this idea and made it into a product now. And I used to get yelled at by my manager because our goal is to sell stuff. And when people would pick that up, I would be like, look, bro, I'm going to stop you right here. You can do exactly what this does if you just do this. And I would give him the recipe. Get a fucking toilet paper thing, jam it full of some fucking whatever you want, Bounce or, you know, any of the other ones out there, and just blow through that. You'll be just fine. Random Andy says, I pack inside, blaze outside. And cheers to you, fam. Much love. Jesse says, you can always put some fire wax in a blunt. Can't take expensive glass everywhere, and I'd rather die than spend money on a Puffco for travel. So, Jesse, the way that I get around that is being a hermit. I don't fucking go anywhere, so I don't give a shit about traveling. And so, my thing is, if I get invited anywhere, can I take Deacon? Because if I can't take my dog, I'm not going to be there. And the next question to that is, okay, so if I can or can't take Deacon is going to decide whether or not I can go. So let's say that I can go. You guys accept that Deacon can be there. I can take Deacon, so we're all good. Can I take a rig? And if I can take a rig, I'm not going to take my headiest fucking piece, but I'm going to take something that I can dab with. Oh, best believe it. Even if I'm the only one there that's dabbing, I need my medication. If you invite me somewhere, then you understand that, because you know what the fuck you get if you invite me. Corey says, do you ever meet your fans and smoke? So I have not been able to organize something to where people always show up, because I get that a lot. Like, hey, I'm in California, or hey, I'm going to be in California. Like, let's meet up. But there's a lot of people that don't actually follow through on that. And having said that, there's been a couple of people that actually have, but then they'll come through with like their entire family and they'll have kids, and we can't necessarily, you know, go and smoke. So yes, I have met people that follow the channel, and it's been fucking awesome. So I'll show this to you guys. There was a glass blower that I helped out with his business for a couple of months. And while I was doing that, there was a lot of people that followed him that got a lot more involved with my shit. And a couple of those people had kids that really liked me. And so there's two kids that sent me pictures that they drew. And one of them I already have framed. This is the second one that I got sent that I need to have framed. So this lady's little girl thinks that I'm the shit and actually drew one of my poison apples. This is a rig that I have, and she fucking drew this. So it's been really crazy, like, being a content creator and doing shit like that. Like, not just vibing and connecting with people, but getting like inducted into the family, and her like saying like, my daughter fucking loves you. She every time that I'm watching and she sees you talking, she's like, oh shit, Cynic. So like, that shit blows my mind, and I'm gonna frame that. And there's another one. So here in the closet, guys, that picture right there is a skull that another person's kid made for me. And that's a totally different family. So if people are willing to actually like do the fucking go the extra mile and show up in person, I'm totally down to fucking meet and let's have a sesh. And because I appreciate you guys so much, you know, like it would fucking suck if I was just here talking to myself. And the fact that look, I know I'm not the biggest channel out there, but that doesn't mean that my videos aren't still successful. I have videos that have like 40K, 60K plus views. And like people do watch my shit. It may not be every single video. And there she is. We got my family, Eunice. So yes. Eunice. I'm sorry. Fucking I'm a little swifty right now. But meeting her and the family, Jonathan and the kids, like, dude, everybody was fucking awesome. Dreamer says, let's draw for Cynic. Dude, I'll frame all that shit. I will find room to put it up here. I don't care. But that's the thing is that, and 420 says, that's weird for real. How do you respond to that, you know? With love. You respond with love. Like, dude, I would never think in a million years that you guys would like me that much. Thank you so much. Can I give you a hug? And that's how I responded. I went and fucking hung out with them, and I should have invited them to the house. And I think if they're ever in California again, I want them to come to the house. And instead of fucking like, I'll make lunch or something, like we'll have homemade tacos or some shit. But yeah, I want them to have a little bit more of a personal experience if they ever come back to California. And yeah. And she says, Leah loves you. Hey, she's awesome. I think that she's amazing. So thank you guys so much. Thank you for, you know, sending me that so that I can frame it. That's one of the things that I need to get done this weekend. So I'm actually going to go to Michael's tomorrow so I can get a frame for that. But yes, I take that shit seriously, and I appreciate every single one of you guys. And I'm just, you know, if I can help you with anything, if I can ever do something for you guys, and it's within reason, I'm willing to. My mom says someone should draw you a geisha if anybody's ever willing. As far as that goes, Mama, I'm picky. Because when it came to having her made, I went to a professional graphic design artist, not somebody who's just starting, who's only been doing it for like a year. This is this guy's fucking job. He doesn't eat unless he makes good designs for people. He's been doing it for years. And I spent probably a good 7 to 8 weeks going back and forth with him about tweaking the design. Yes, this looks good. Hey, maybe we should add this. Hey, maybe we can do this. Can you tweak this a little bit? So I think that I'm, to be completely honest with you, I think that I'm a little too specific for a lot of people. And if it's going to be something that like I'm going to use on merch, or I'm going to put on a sticker or a dab mat, I spent a lot of time and a lot of effort on this last design because I wanted it to be a certain way, and I got spoiled. So like I'm going to be pretty demanding if it's going to be a geisha. Not even going to lie. I invite people to do it. I'm just saying, don't like expect it to be a design unless it's pretty fucking bomb. Jesse says, best dabbing channel this side of philosophy and paranormal. Appreciate that, fam. And just to make sure that I keep in line with what we're supposed to do here, let's go ahead and take that dab because we've been talking about it. We're over the 2-hour mark just by a couple of minutes, but I knew we were going to make it, so I don't know why I was worried about that. Easton says, I've got family in Cali, but never been there, stuck in misery, as we say, and I second that. Conservatives for cannabis. Easton, if you ever find yourself in California, especially if you find yourself in the Valley, hit me up, fam. We will fucking sesh. My mama says, I would, but I can't draw a stick figure correctly. Why do you think I haven't made my own geisha? Because it would be a stick figure, and it wouldn't be very well drawn either. So I know all about that shit. You passed it on to me. I'm a writer. I am not a fucking artist. I will willingly admit that. Daniel says that's dope as fuck. Not a lot of people would be as kind as you about it, but that's just because times have changed. But on grinding and making vids, they're all pretty dope and entertaining to watch. Thank you so much, Daniel. I appreciate that, fam. And again, you guys are what make the channel. If nobody's watching, then, what am I doing this for? So it's awesome to be able to have you guys, and I appreciate you all. Easton, I'm sorry because I see your question there. What's your thought on propane torches? I'm going to answer. So Easton's question is going to be the last one. What's my thought on propane torches? I love them. Or wait, is this propane? Butane. So I use butane. I think propane would be like the camp torches, which, let me double check. Yeah, so propane. I have one, fam. So I'm not going to shit on it in any way, shape, or form. I have one. I would say if you do get one, this nozzle right here is the easiest one to use because there isn't some kind of crazy trick to the clicker or anything. Turn the gas on, and then you click it, and then you got a fire. Super duper easy. And then you close it, and then there's no fire. So there's nothing weird that you got to fucking deal with. Like, it's super duper simple. But what I will say is that butane torches are better. Specifically, blazers. I have had this one torch for years, and all I have to do is make sure that there's actually butane in it, and it will heat up this nail twice as fast. So you can totally use the propane torch, but a good butane torch, especially a blazer, is going to be able to do the same job in less time. And again, I have nothing against a propane torch because I have one right here. But yeah, Corey says, what would be the best way to contact you to try and plan a meet and smoke in October? That's either going to be Gmail, which is going to be deadcynic@gmail.com, or on Instagram. Send me a DM, fam, and we'll discuss it more. Those are two of the easiest ways that you can get a hold of me that I will respond quickest to. As far as comments and stuff, you can leave a comment and I will respond to it. But honestly, the easiest thing to do is to just start a private conversation. That way we can talk about whatever. So yeah, email or a DM on Instagram would be the best way. And then the thing that I like about blazers is, on top of the fact that you have a more efficient design because of the intensity of the flame, is you also have the customization aspect of it. Let's go ahead and show this. So the accents on my base and my knob and my blast shield are all UV reactive. And so there's just ways that you can customize these torches that you can't do that with the propane torches. So for a collector like me, that also makes a difference. Like, yes, it's a great torch, but aside from being a great torch, I can also customize it the way that I like. And what I will also say is that shit like the blast shield, this thing is fucking legit. I could heat up my nail just like this the entire time, and it's not going to burn my hand. This thing is a legit heat sink, and it actually saves people a lot of injuries. Corey says, send you a DM on IG. I'm going to go because of work, but have a great night and smoke a fat dab for me. We are about to do that right now, fam. I hope that you have a great rest of your night at work. Cheers. Much love from California. Let's get in on this dab before we head out. I also think that we will take one more shot. And if we got my little brother here, hey, Captain, I'm going to be hopping online. So if you want to do some looting and some shooting, I'll be there. And to those of you that don't know, I like to squad up with my little brother and kill zombies. That's why I was saying that. Jacob says, yeah, that's another thing too. I've messed up and burnt my hand bad with those other torches. That's some real shit, fam. So nice little barrel protector like this blast shield here. They make a difference. They do fucking work. There's a hair stuck in there. I gotta get out. I don't want that to burn. All right. But yeah, that was me holding the nozzle of the torch to my fucking cheek as I was heating up the nail and feeling absolutely nothing. All right, y'all. I'm on about 770, so we got a couple of seconds before we're ready to go. Much love to all of you guys. Let's go ahead and pour shot number 3 before we head out. We'll just take that before the dab is ready because why the fuck not? Hope that all of you have a good, safe Friday. I think I'm going to get off and kill some zombies. So cheers to the fucking zombie apocalypse. Honestly, I think that the zombie apocalypse happened already. That's why everybody's so fucking dumb. But that's another stream. That's not for tonight. So we'll talk about that later. Whiskey. And after the whiskey, dabs. So cheers to you guys. Again, be safe. Much love from the valley out in Cali. Fat motherfucking dabs. Bloop. So, Mom, the reason why is because shit happens. And what do I mean by that? Well, in this particular game, aside from zombies, you have other human survivors, which are computer players, but they make up what they call in the game enclaves. So you'll have a group of NPCs, basically, that you can trade with or they might offer a benefit to your community or whatever. But sometimes there are hostile enclaves. And so one of my favorite things to do is to call my little brother when there's a hostile enclave that pops up on my map. And then what we'll do is torture them. So, like, obviously, if you have a hostile enclave on your map, you have to eliminate them. Because as soon as you show up on their property, they're gonna shoot you. So what me and my little brother will do is we'll get in a car and we'll honk the horn all down the street, and we'll lead a group of 40 to 50 zombies right to their front fucking door. And then we'll just post up on a trailer, like a big wheel trailer or something, and we'll watch from across the street as a mob of zombies tears my enemies or his enemies to shreds. We don't even have to waste the bullets. And that's what I enjoy about that game, is that we could do dumb shit like that because I love it. So, yeah, like I'm Easton, that's a Blazer Big Shot. I think it's like the GT8000. I'm not exactly sure because I have a covering over what it would say, but this is a Blazer Big Shot. So if you were to type that in on like Amazon, or even if you just go to a search bar and you type in Blazer Big Shot, this is the model that's going to come up. But yeah, I'm weird like that, so that's what I like to do to my enemies. I torture them. Or like one of the things that we really like to do is there's these little grenades that you can throw. They don't actually do any damage, but they release this smell that just attracts hella zombies. So we like to throw those in the windows of the houses that they like to stay in and just watch as zombies start crowding in. And because my thing is, and I'm going to tell you guys about this before I head out just because it's fun and it's one of the things that I think about. I feel like I have a good deal of empathy. You know, I'm pretty good at putting myself in somebody else's shoes. So I love the idea of sitting around one day in the zombie apocalypse and like things aren't hard enough. You actually make enemies with a crazy motherfucker like me, and I run a community of people and I have access to the weapons that I have in that game. So let's just say one day you're just talking to because there's at least 3 people in each hostile enclave. So let's say there's 3 people in the house that you're in, and you're just talking to one of your homies like, hey dude, I was so glad that I made it back. I went across the street because I thought that they might have some snacks in the cupboard, and 2 zombies almost got me, dog. And all of a sudden, through the window, this fucking thing that smells super bad, this bottle of just fucking zombie parts or whatever, just comes crashing in. And you're like, whoa, what the fuck? And then before you know it, you have about 20 zombies in your house, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? And then all of a sudden, from another window, there's fireworks that get thrown in that attract more zombies. And if you happen to step outside, then you get shot. Like that, like I just put myself in those people's position, and then I think to myself, you shouldn't have become my enemy. That might make me a fucking asshole, but that's what I enjoy so much about doing that, is just like empathizing with them to the point that I'm in their shoes and then saying, shouldn't have fucked with me. You shouldn't have fucked with me. So yeah, you guys are awesome. That's just a little insight into my brain and how I play video games. Don't be a hostile faction. You want to be my friend. Let's trade together and like exchange information and stuff. but you don't want to be my enemy. Because then zombies end up just coming through your shit for no reason. And if you step outside, you get shot. Pew pew, my mom says. Exactly. 420. So that is State of Decay 2. And it's an awesome game. Thankfully, there are no COVID references. But hey, for all I know, that's what started the zombie apocalypse, and that's what they all died of and became zombies from, fucking COVID. So I don't know. They don't specify. That's actually a good point. We're going to take one more shot before we check out. I was shooting for 2 hours. We're already coming up on 2.5. So that's almost, well, so far it is 20 minutes of extra content that we normally wouldn't have. My mama's saying, yep, you are my child. Just don't fuck with us. And just leave us alone. As long as you leave me alone, then you're just fine. But if you're going to fuck with me, I will torture you. Fourth shot. And then we're going to check out for the night. And yeah. So much love to all of you guys. Cheers. And be looking out, because I'm actually pretty sure Lewis says it was a pleasure to chill with you, bro. Lewis, I'm glad that you caught us live, and I hope to see you in future lives, brother. This is like the 6th week that we've done a Friday live around the same time. So if you guys, there's 15 homies in the chat. If you had a good time and you enjoyed yourself tonight, this is basically what we do later in the evening on Fridays. So if you want to see this again, just be here next week. I also need to post an actual video. So we will be doing a review of Sitka Gold. I am just waiting on the stash box that they sent to me. So once that comes in, I'll have the other piece that I was going to review, because I'm not sure what to do. I'm not sure if I should put it all in one video and review everything at once, or if I should make it in separate videos, in which case there's going to be 2. So, well, no, there's going to be 3. So we're going to review the hash dome. We're going to review the hot knife set, and those will be 2 separate videos. And then we're going to do a review of the actual hash itself. And whether we split that up and review every strain, or whether we do one video with the strains that I have on hand at the time, it depends. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But we're going to have at least 3 more videos involving hash and hash smoking accessories. So if you're interested in that, be on the lookout. We will also have next week's live, which will be on Friday around the same time. We usually start around like 8:30 to 9:30. I started this one a little bit earlier. I think we started around 8 o'clock. So it's always around that time frame. But for the last, seriously, like 6 fucking weeks, always on a Friday, always around 8 to 9:30. That's how we get down. So much love to you guys. We're going to take shot number 4. And shit. We're coming up on 2.5 hours anyway. Let's pack a fat dab and take a fat dab before we leave. So that's not what I was going to say. That's just a burp. I got this Mac 1 Forum Cookies Cross. I'm going to take that dabber that I was showing you guys with the opals in it, and I'm going to pack a nice fat dab. And we're just going to blast that to the dome before we check out. Easton, okay, so hold on, because we got a couple of comments from him. Okay, Daniel says, I'll be sure to check out the live next week. Love the content. Appreciate that, fam. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this is your first live, I'm glad that you caught us, and much love. We are going to take one more dab. So if you would like to see another cloud and the function on this piece, just chill with us for a little bit. 420 says a right to speak and refuse a government mandatory needle. Fuck all of that shit, bro. I will happily stand with anybody that is saying I ain't gonna take that shit, because I ain't gonna take it either. Let's see. Easton also says separate videos detailing each piece. I actually started that project, fam, believe it or not. So if you go onto my channel and you go into my playlists, there's a playlist called Cynic's Glass Shop. That is me trying to go through the collection piece by piece. Now, they're not super long videos because I didn't want them to be. I just wanted them to be maybe like 10 minutes at the most. We take a dab out of it, we show it, we talk about the kind of features of it, but that doesn't really take that long, right? So about 5 to 10 minutes is how I tried to make each of those videos. There's been a couple that ran a little bit longer, but Cynic's Glass Shop, that'll be what you want to start with, fam. And let me know what you think. You know, leave comments, give me your feedback to how I could make them better. If there's something else I should talk about when I make the videos, because I need to make more. But yeah, and all the feedback that I can get helps. So you let me know what you think. Easton says, have you ever thought of a beginner's basics on dabs? Brother, I'm telling you, just so go through my playlists, because I have a video called Let's Talk How to Take a Dab, where somebody asked me to detail the steps of how to properly take a dab, or what I think is involved in taking a dab. And I made an entire video just for them. So it's funny that you're asking, because these are actual videos that I have on my channel right now. Exotic, what's going on, fam? So we are at the tail end of tonight. We are coming up on like 2.5 hours, but you got here just in time. I packed a fat dab of some Mac 1 and Forum cookies, and we are also about to take shot number 4. So let's go ahead and heat up. Actually, I need to clean up this nail just a little bit more. So we're going to clean it up, then I'm going to heat it. While we're heating it, I'm going to take shot number 4. We're going to take this dab, then I'm going to check out for the night. We got 15 homies in the chat. What's going on, 15 homies? Hope that you have a good, safe Friday. Remember earlier, I was saying if you're tuning in and you're not at home, there's a couple people that were at work, so I'm not really worried about them. But if you're tuning in and you're not at home, you're at a party, or you're at, just out and about, and for whatever reason you tuned in, make sure that if you can't get home safely, you don't try and drive yourself. There's cabs, there's Ubers, there's Lyfts, there's probably some other shit in your local area that I don't even know about. So as long as you know where you're at, again, there's at least 3 places that I listed off: cabs, Uber, Lyft. There's a way for you to get home safely. Please do that, because I want to make sure that you can tune in next week and that you're still here with us, not paying off some dumb shit or going to court or whatever the fuck. So be safe. Much love. And yeah, let me go ahead and clean up this banger. We'll take another dab, we'll take another shot, and then we'll check out for the evening. Jacob says, dude, you should do function shots over commentary. I'm trying to learn more and more about, production stuff so that I can do things like that, fam. To be completely honest, though, I just, I'm kind of lazy when it comes to making content. And like, one thing that you'll notice is all my shit is done in one take. Like, there are no fades or cuts to other stuff. Like, everything is in that one take, because I've tried to work with programs and learn how to use them so that I could splice up videos and do this and this a certain way, and the shit just ended up not working on my computer, or I could use it for a couple weeks and then it wouldn't work. And so I just got tired of that shit, and it's like, you know what? Whatever I can do with the first shot, I'll just fucking do that. And I've been slowly playing with the idea of going back to trying to learn the better production shit. And I'm thinking that we'll do that in the next couple of videos. It's just me actually getting back to it, because it's more work. And I just want this shit to fucking actually function. Because the whole reason that I stopped using it in the first place isn't because I got too confused and I couldn't use it. It's because it just stopped working on my fucking computer. So I would like to add a deeper level of production to the videos to make the quality better. Absolutely, I would. But I've had some issues with some of the programs that I've used. So right now I just use the simplest shit. Easton says, okay, this is my new favorite channel on Friday's activities. Far from a beginner. I just like random stuff, detailing steps. That is the business, fam. And you know, so what I do mainly on this channel is I look for what people want to know. And I ask, you know, if you have a question or something, you can either leave a comment or you can send me an email or a DM, you know, whatever. And there's a couple of people that have asked me like, hey, bro, can you just talk about this like on a live stream, or, you know, touch on this the next time that you make a video? And instead of touching on it, I'll just make a video about that request. So there's been a couple of people that have asked for help in, you know, like, hey, can you explain this? And my answer to that is to just give them a video. So if I can help you with something, I will. Like, I enjoy educating people and teaching people new stuff, and I enjoy, honestly, like, because I love to collect glass, and I've said it like a million fucking times, but I will continue to say it. I enjoy inspiring that passion that I have for glass in other people. Like, I love discussing stuff with people and just getting them into the same shit that I'm into. And honestly, I shouldn't relegate it to just glass. Like, if it comes to good books or good movies or, you know, just good stuff, if you think that I know about it and you need a recommendation, then hit me up and I will do my best to give you the best recommendation that I have based on what you're asking for. I'm not saying that I know everything. I can't answer every question, but I'm going to tell you what, if you come to me looking for help, I'm going to do my best to help. That's how my mama brought me up. All right. So we're going to take one more dab. We're going to heat up this nail. And while we're waiting for the nail to cool down, we're going to take a shot. So much love to all of you guys. I hope that you got something to dab on or smoke on or drink on, or smoke on and drink on, dab on and drink on, or smoke and dab and drink on, whatever the fuck you're going to do in whatever combination. Exotic. I get that question a lot. I love glass and I love collecting glass. I have had the opportunity to blow glass. I've helped out a glass blower he lived maybe 45 minutes away from where I am right now. And he invited me many, many times to his house to teach me to blow glass or to just try it. I never took him up on that. I have a friend that actually lives locally here who's one of my best friends. I've known this person for over 10 years, and he is reworking his garage into a setup to where he can blow glass more seriously, because he did start it as a hobby, and he's upgraded his torch and a lot of his tools and stuff. So I always have the I know that he would be like, dude, try it out if I wanted to over at his house. But here's the thing. I've never been artistically inclined that way. I'm a writer. I'm a thinker. I'm very cerebral, and I can detail what I think about something very clearly, but I have a hard time drawing it out. I've never been an artist. So like, even so, like Dungeons and Dragons, if you give me a model, I can paint the shit out of it, but I wouldn't be able to make my own model and like, or even draw out. Like if somebody said, hey, we'll make you a model if you tell us exactly what you want, I'd be able to tell you, but I'd never be able to draw you and make a sketch and be like, this is what I want. So because I know I don't have that talent, I would much then. So here's where my love of glass kind of comes into play, is that I would rather reach out to different artists and see their interpretation of my idea so that I can appreciate their art of how their version of my idea. And I think that that's equally awesome. Okay, maybe I can't do it myself, but you know what? I know that I can give somebody a vivid enough description to where they can pretty accurately represent what I was thinking. It would just have the lens of their own experience and how their style works. And that's also why when I reach out to a glassblower, what I ask for is a design that they're comfortable with. Because you don't want to go to a guy that makes dinosaurs and ask him for a truck. You know, if you follow somebody, you know more or less what they can make. So if you hit them up, even if it's specific to like your design, because for me, it would be a color scheme. I love black and slime. This black and green color, I love that shit. That's my favorite shit. I have a bunch of stuff in black and slime because I love the contrast and how those colors play on each other. But at the same time, I respect different artists' styles, and I appreciate seeing how they represent their design in my color scheme. So it's like a symbiotic relationship. I understand that it may not be exactly what I wanted in my head because I'm not in their head, and they have to try and get into my head, and it's a big old fucking thing. So the best that I can do is write out a really descriptive presentation for them, or a really descriptive description, and send that to them and just let them do their thing. And that's what I've always done. And again, you may not get exactly what you want, but that person isn't you. So if you can't make it, you have to allow a little bit of artistic freedom and understand that they're going to do the best that they can to try and make the thing that they think is in your head. That's their job. That's why they took the custom. But yeah, it's that's kind of the neat thing about the appreciation for glass is you get to enjoy that differentiation in your collection, because you can say, oh, this looks this way because it's made by this guy and that's what he's good at, and this is what he does. This looks this way because this is what this guy's good at. And honestly, that's what helps me remember glass blowers, is by looking at the design. It's not even that I remember names. I remember names because of designs. If I look at something, I'm, oh, that's this guy made that because that's how he does shit. So yeah, it's just something yeah. I'm just rambling because I'm fucking swifty, and we still have another shot and another dab to take. So we got 16 homies in the chat. What's going on, guys? We're about to check out, or at least I'm trying to. I'm fucking doing my best here. Cotton mouth like a motherfucker. Y'all got me talking a lot tonight. I mean, I talk most nights, but tonight I feel like we're extra talky. 420 says you can't always get what you want, but sometimes you just might find you get what you need. That is very true, fam. And for real, there's a lot of times where I've wondered what I was going to get. And when it actually arrived, I appreciated the artist's addition and how their style impacted the piece. So that totally happens. And that's why if you get into something like this and you're collecting glass, you're going to go one of two ways. You're either going to find like one or two artists that make something the way that you like, and you're just gonna buy their shit, or you're gonna look around and do business with a lot of different people because you want to see how everybody makes their shit. And that's exactly what my collection is. There's one artist that I've had that has made most of my custom recyclers, that's true. But there's also a lot of custom pieces that I've got from other artists, from rigs to bubble caps to marbles. There's a lot of business that I've done with a lot of the community. So whether they like me or not, or whether I talk about it a lot, you know, I showed you guys earlier, you know, we scanned over all the collection. That didn't all come from one person. There's a lot of different people that made all of that shit, and that's what comprises my collection. So 420 says, you trying to check out? We just getting going. Oh, fam, I got a nice fat shot in that glass waiting for me. I got a nice fat dab on this paddle waiting for me. I've been here for almost 3 hours. You gonna tell me that we're just getting going? You must be having a good fucking Friday. And so I will concede for a Friday, it's only gonna be, we're barely getting to around 11 o'clock. It is kind of early, so I'll give you that. But I have to stay conscious. We can't take too many fucking shots and dabs. I gotta go and eat something and then hop online and shit. So I gotta be able to stay awake. 420 says, it ain't about likes, it's about truth. Which I will agree, fam. As much as I love people tuning in and hanging out with us, it's not about how many. It's just about the fact that people get good information, we have a good time, and we chill for a little bit. So as long as we're able to do that and we enjoy ourselves, hey. That's not what I was going to say. That's just a burp. Stream successful. And I'm pretty sure that this was a successful stream. I mean, we're coming up. We're closer to 3 hours than we aren't. And we got 16 homies in the chat right now. That's a pretty active chat. So to all of you that are here, much love from California. Thank you for tuning in on this Friday night. Bong! It is 10:42. We haven't even hit 11 o'clock yet. We're coming up on, well, we're definitely over 2.5 hours because we're at 2 hours and 41 minutes. We're coming up on 42 minutes in just a second here. And we chilling. Exotic says, you a real one. I appreciate you. You know what, fam? Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I'm glad that you're here. Soy Joy said, yo, what up, Dab fam? What's going on, fam? We just chilling. You got here just in time because I'm actually trying to check out. I normally say I'm going to shoot for about 1.5 hours, and then it ends up at 2 hours. So I was like, you know what? We're just going to go for 2 hours because I know it's going to go there anyway. And here we are coming up on 3 hours. Daniel says, if you think about it, it's like a chill sesh with 16 people and you get to learn new things and you just talk. That's what it's about. That's what I try and do, Daniel, is, you know, I just want us all to have a place where we can chill for a little bit, hang out, and exchange ideas, take some shots if that's what you're into, take some dabs, smoke some weed, whatever the fuck you want to do. Let's just hang out and have a good time and talk about some stuff. You know, that's what we've been doing for the past couple of Fridays, and I am super glad that you guys have come along for the ride with me. Mighty and Dab says, hey, Cynic, greets, have fun, much love. 420 says, real people are hard to find for real. I absolutely agree with that, fam. It is definitely getting harder to find real ones, and so let's make a place for the real ones to congregate. Pretty sure we're doing a good job so far. Last dab of the night, y'all. If you got something to smoke on, dab on, drink on, get it ready, because here we go. You know, guys, I've really enjoyed the past couple of weeks because we've had a lot of fun talking about absolutely nothing in particular. And I think that's the sign of a pretty tight-knit community, is that We literally are able to just hang out and chill and fucking talk about whatever comes to mind. Absolutely nothing, if that's the case. And we still have fun. I mean, fuck. 3 hours. And I'm surprised that it came up this fast. Like, we just passed like nothing, you know? Time flies when you're having fun, all that good stuff. So thank you so much for hanging out with me and providing the conversation and helping me get through the night. Let's go ahead and take this last dab and this last shot. Daniel, no worries, fam. You don't have to have a dab. Let's just fucking toke it up and fucking hang out. Bong rips are just as valid as dabs, so I am not tripping on anybody that has something to smoke. You get your smoke on. Light it up if it's a joint or a blunt. Fucking hit it if it's a pipe or a bong. Get that smoke in your lungs. Let's take this shot. 15 homies in the chat. Much love. We are checking out after this. So let's make it count. You guys are the shit. Thank you for hanging out with me. I hope that all of you have a great, safe rest of your Friday. Be on the lookout, because next week we will be doing reviews of Sitka Gold products. Not just their hash, but also their smoking accessories. They have a hash dome. They have a hot knife set. They're going to be sending me the hot knife set. That actually should be in the mail already. So I am just waiting on that. And once it comes in, we're going to be making videos, y'all. So if you like hash, we're going to have some stuff for you. Cheers. Dab time. Good times. Alrighty, y'all. I am out for the night. Probably. Oh, you know what? I was gonna do it anyway. So because we're already over 2.5 hours, let's go ahead and take another dab. Let's take back-to-back dabs. If you don't want to, you don't have to. I'm going to. So that's just another excuse for us to chill a little bit longer. I'm going to pack a little bit more of this Mac 1 Informed Cookie Cross. And cheers to all of you guys that decide to stay here. Oh, shit, 19 homies in the chat. What's going on, 19 homies? We're going to clean up this banger, and then we are going to take another dab. So I'm going to try and clean this as quickly as possible. We do have to give it a second, though, because... well, I shouldn't even say a second. We got to give it a minute because the nail has to cool down. That way we can put some ISO in it. Kite says, bro, I just woke up. Then you woke up just in time, fam, because we're going to pack another dab. I just got to clean this nail. He says, about to take my first dab of the day. Then let's take it together, good sir. I have this jar right here. It's a little tiny bit less than 8 grams, but there's one big old solid chunk right there. And we're just going to take a nice little right out of that. There it is. sound effect included. Eagle TF2 says, been checking your content out. Glad I caught the end. I'll take a dab too. Cheers, fam. Much love to everybody that's tuning in. Whether you're here for the first time or you're here for the 100th time, you know what? I really appreciate your company, and I'm glad that you could catch a live stream. And I hope to see you next week. We made a habit out of going live every Friday, and we've been able to do it pretty consistently. So we've done it for probably the last, I want to say, 5-6 weeks now. And if you enjoy taking dabs live and just talking about stuff and hanging out, then I invite you to join us next week. So much love from the Valley out in Cali. And yeah. Corey says, you ever heard of the Inspire wand for dabs? I have not, fam. That is a completely new term to me, if I'm being honest with you. So I'm wondering if it's like something to replace an e-nail, like it makes your nail hot or something. But trying to think of what it actually could be. Exotic 420 says, I need to put reminders on my calendar for every Friday. Much love, fam. Hey, totally understand if you can't make it. No worries. But I just want to, so to the 18 homies that we got right now, you know, if I got that many of you on camera, I just want to let you know we have made it a habit for probably the last 5-6 weeks. Faithfully around the same time even, we have done this stream. So if you guys enjoy hanging out with us tonight, we're going to do the same shit next week on Friday. So if you want to be here, you want to hang out with us, hey, I would love to have you here. Be part of the conversation. I really enjoy it when people participate, and the more that we can get into the conversation, the better. What do you want to talk about? Even if it isn't what we're talking about, change the subject. Hey, I'll respond to anybody. I do apologize if I don't get to everybody's comment. Sometimes the chat does get to kind of moving on me, and I may look away, or by the time I finish a thought, there's a whole new thing in the chat. So I apologize if I didn't get to your comment this time. Send me a DM or send me an email. We'll talk about it privately. I'll totally do that. But yeah, cheers to everybody. 18 homies in the chat. I got one more dab in me. Let's go ahead and take one more dab. Let's make it a fat dab too. You know what's crazy? I'm going to tell you guys a little story right now. There's 18 homies in the chat. I'm going to tell you the weirdest fucking story. So, my finger right there is cut. Focus, bitch. But anyway, it's cut. You can see the cut. You can obviously see the cut. Craziest thing is, hi, Deacon. What's going on, buddy? Oh, gotta give some lovins to the Deacon. What's up, buddy? You want to say hi to everybody? Oh, yeah, you're so handsome. Let's get your eye boogers. There you go. "20 homies in the chat. What's going on? This is my best friend. His name is Deacon. He's a Pitbull Corgi mix. And he's my best friend. And as you can see, he's getting a little gray under the muzzle there. He's been around for a minute. He's been my friend for a long time. And he's the goodest boy ever. But yeah. Oh yeah, I'm showing him the cut, dude. As you can see right there on my dog's nose, my shit got cut. You know, the crazy thing is, so there was a stray thread coming out of my shirt, right? And I was like, I'm going to rip that off. So I wrapped it around my finger and I pulled it, thinking that just like the million other times that I've done that before, it's going to snap off and I'm going to have all that extra thread in my finger. No, whatever this one was, it was like, I got some steel in there and I'm just going to dig into your shit. And I felt that shit actually like carve into my finger and I was like, yo! And I've never given myself a paper cut with like a thread before, but that shit is real and that shit happened to me. So be careful. Might as well grab like a fucking razor or some scissors. And that's the thing, is that I never would have thought a thread could do that, but as I was pulling on it, like I could feel it dig into my skin. And again, like I'm glad that my buddy wasn't here, because I shouted out loud. I was like, hey, like, what the fuck? So Kite Supreme says, that happened to me once too. It's a horrible feeling. My mama says, fabric cut. Oh yeah, that shit happens. That's what I did myself. 420 says, well, now you know. Fuck yeah, dude. Like, I learned me something. Corey said, that thread said, not today. Oh, dude. I didn't get scissors. I got a box cutter. And I fucking shredded that thread in the most aggressive fashion after that. Mighty and Dab said, paper cuts are real too. Be aware. Yeah, fuck paper cuts, dude. Those suck as well. But yeah, son of a bitch. 420 says, on the bright side, that is a solid sweatshirt. Dude, if that one thread did that to my finger, then yeah, this is going to hold up. Like, it's a fucking, they hit the nail on the head. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now. Let's go ahead and take this last dab. 18 homies in the chat. What's going on, 18 homies? 420 says you can cut PVC pipe with string. Bruh, I believe that shit now, because that went through my finger like nothing. Like, I felt it digging in, which is why I stopped, or else it would have been worse. So, like, seriously, I just thought that I was going to have to wrap it and just go whoop, because I've done that a million times. But as I started to go whoop, I could feel it go, and I actually had to stop the whoop, so it was more like a whoop. Because then I was like, hey, what the fuck? And I had this on my finger now. So that shit is real. Fabric can cut you, and all it takes is one string. So get yourself something sharp. Fuck all that. Shit, man. All right, coming up on 3 hours. We added a whole extra hour to this bitch. So I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be here next week for another Friday Night Funk. Better believe it. I do have to add some other videos to the mix. We need to do some glass shop entries and some Let's Talks and stuff like that. For the last couple of weeks, it has been strictly live streams, and I need to break that up and actually bring you guys some content that has to do strictly with just talking about glass. We can't just do live streams all the time, so I'm sorry for being so lazy. We will pick it back up. I just need to get on that shit. But there's, and we have a couple of things to talk about too. Dreamer says, kid, give me that string. Too dangerous, right? I've never, in my life, I've never had an issue with string until today. When I fucking yanked on that bitch and it was like, you know what? Fuck your finger. You think you're gonna rip me? I'm gonna rip you, bitch. I had to stop short. I thought I was gonna pull that bitch out. I was like, oh, this is not good. That's not, hey. So yeah, paper cuts and fabric cuts. Fuck all of that shit. I didn't even know fabric cut existed. I am aware now. Alright, so we got a fat dab of some Mac 1 and Forum cookies. Much love to all of you guys. This is going to be the last dab of the night. I would take another shot, but I got to make sure that I can actually smash zombies with some kind of efficiency. Can't just be like, can't be a zombie myself. So yeah. Let's go ahead and take this dab. Dreamer says they cut eyebrows with string of some kind. Dude, I've seen that shit in the mall. It's totally, that happens. It's a skill people have. Much love. Dab time. Alright. 420 says, at least you still have all 5. Dude, if that string would have cut off my finger, I would have asked this company for like a sponsorship. Because if their fucking fabric was good enough to cut my finger off, I need to represent that shit, because this shit is gonna last forever. And having said that, I've had to like give these away because I can't wear them because they get kind of small. But for the most part, I've never had one that was just like, oh, there's too many holes in this, I have to get rid of it. So I've never actually seen one degrade. I've had to give them away. They haven't really fallen apart on me. Easton says, well, I'm considering going to sleep. Good deal, fam, because I'm about to check the fuck out. Daniel says, the docking rope hooked to a pretty big boat with an infant, which is me holding on to the other end that wasn't tied to anything. You could imagine that rope burn. Indeed. Woo! 420 says, don't want to see you in the Dab Special Olympics. Oh, dude, I will do my best. Newton says, what you playing zombies on? I'm going to play State of Decay 2. I don't know if my little brother is on or not, but I'm going to see. 19 homies in the chat. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Much love. I hope to see you next week for the other Friday Night Funk. In the meantime, hey, somebody sending me a message. In the meantime, I will be making another video. We have to add like a glass shop entry or a let's talk entry, something. But we will be doing something other than a live stream very, very soon. And I will be releasing that probably next week. So I'm going to be working on that. Much love to all of you guys. And even if I don't get to it, because sometimes I do get kind of busy doing shit, at the very least, next week on Friday, somewhere around 8 to 9:30 p.m., we will be here. So I hope to see you. Be blessed. Much love from your brothers in the Dab Pack and the Slime Gang. Cheers. Be merry and be safe. I'm sure that I'll see you soon.